All right, all right. What's up? What's up? Good evening. Welcome to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. Big shout out to my Kava people down at the bar. Make some noise. All right. Well, we've got a show for you tonight. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Caleb Beissert. Good to be with you. This is Poetry Open Mic Asheville. And I'm going to get right to the poetry tonight. I'm going to kick it off with some words by the great poet W.S. Merwin. This is the present. As they were leaving the garden, one of the angels bent down to them and whispered, "I am to give you this. As you are leaving the garden, I do not know what it is or what it is for, what you will do with it. You will not be able to keep it, but you will not be able to keep anything." Yet they both reached at once for the present, and when their hands met, they laughed. All right. Ooh. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We've got Kimberly J. Sims as our feature poet tonight, and we're going to hear from her in just a few minutes here. I'm going to get things a little warmed up with some poetry, give y'all a chance to tune in. And by the way, thank you for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate your support. And we appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. And also many thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava, who's been helping us bring you the open mic here for going on 10 years here in Asheville. And just today, we can announce now that we've won Best Open Mic Venue in Western North Carolina, in the Mountain Express, again, this year. So thanks for voting for us, and thanks to Mountain Express for naming Sovereign Kava the best open mic night venue in the land. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everyone who makes this mic so great. Anyway, we do a sign-up sheet in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville group on Facebook. You can also sign up at Sovereign Kava, who is, they are open for cashless to-go orders only. They do have the patio open now, though. Just wear a mask and come by and support the Kava bar. If you're performing tonight, you get a free double shot of Kava from the bar. Be sure and take advantage of that. And of course, you can find that sign-up sheet there if you don't have Facebook. Also, yeah, and many thanks to the crew down at Sovereign Kava. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Appreciate you listening. Y'all tip your barkeeps and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Yes, I'm going to do a few more poems here, but if you are performing tonight, make sure to follow that StreamYard link and enter the broadcast studio so we know you're ready to go. And I'll let you know the order here in just a minute. We also appreciate comments, and we will post that StreamYard link. So anyone who wants to can join the group. Of course, we're giving first dibs to the people who signed up, but we encourage whoever wants to from anywhere in the world, whether you do poetry or music or storytelling or comedy or whatever, we welcome it all here. And yeah. 8:30 to midnight every Wednesday night Eastern time. We appreciate it. All right. I'm going to do a few new old poems now. This is Song of the Dried Up Waterfall. It had white wolves around it, crystalline and derelict. Corridors of mountains keep the secrets of birds and wind in directions of pre-colonial trails, in the still forest, darting movement in eye corners, and half-heard voices. The old people who walk these trails believe in forest gnomes and elves. Even I have seen the unacknowledged panther. Though we cannot see where the waterfalls have gone, we see where they fell, from the rock sides of gorges. The waves of a riverbed, covered in echoes of hundred and bloody and careful and olden. When the mushrooms sprout beneath the decaying trees, and the tiny blueberries gather the sun and become sweet from it, more tend to appear everywhere, darkened by days like photo negatives. In the afternoon of well-played tricks, there will be no interruptions, but clouds and motorcycles. All right, thank you. Let's see. I think I got a couple more here. This is called The Field. Vapor wraps us in its cerulean entanglement like fine tooth combing over us, its webbings like memories hanging around our bodies. Our feet kick sweetly, suspended. Every horizon, every wall has background. Kick off your docile boots, worn like dog's ears or oyster mushrooms. Slowly, we grow and float in this socket of sex and living generations, death, igneous, astounding, doorways that keep insisting. Within the turning and the vapor, passage, through to windows gently broken in. Beside the old sidewalk, the cracked asphalt, and the afternoon is hot and hot. The afternoon is hot. The afternoon wants to cry. All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Thanks for being here. All right. I think I got one more for you, and then we'll get our featured poet on. But thanks everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. And we appreciate everyone down at the bar. Excellent. Cool. Valerie's in. What's up, Valerie? What's up, Steve? Thank you, Steve. Very supportive poet there. Excellent. There's the link. That's posted in the comments. Follow that link if you want to perform tonight. Otherwise, we really appreciate you tuning in. This last poem I'm going to do is a poem about rhythm. This is called Beat Poetry. In circles before sun temples, drums intone out of their emptiness, to spur profound longing, blue-green dreams steeped in foliage, sound fog deep in forest answers, keeping time to the beat before time. That amoeboid heartbeat carried into kaleidoscoping light windows of pixelated waves laced into neuron circuitry, baffled and fueled by mysteries. Two worm-eaten genes hung on crystalline skeletons, bright yellow atomic rain clouds of city buses passing in the night frame of lonely corners of sky. Great columns in moonlit palaces, sound permeating every cell in this abode. The light beams drift like tractors across ripened fields, saturated in delicate hues of tropical skin and cactus blooms. Fractal ferns sprouting from dust, new planets overhead beneath us, ascending into fragrant midnight molecular Abyssinian vases, digital Egyptian sarcophagi, ancient Incan stone motherboard logic spinning runic songbirds escalate scintillating far red-colored distant sweetheart Orions, and dilated open eyes and heads of reptilian coils, and electric spiral pulsating cloud hands reaching on the ethers wafting in the temple of Aphrodite, stoned upon the rocks of time, in love with every rhythm and every cell and everything, forever without ever, echoed in ocean waves and thunder, painted across clear nights in the perennial spring, around campfires and subwoofers, continuing the majestic beat, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, hopefully we got a little warmed up a little bit now for Kimberly. I am so stoked to have this poet with us in the house. We have a different featured poet every week, and Kimberly has actually featured at the open mic, the in-person open mic before, and also with the with the event Asheville Poetry Series, which we're unfortunately not hosting right now. Hopefully we'll bring it back at some point, but sadly our venue, the Block, went out of business due to the pandemic. Anyway, we have Kimberly here tonight. The book is Lindy Lee, Songs on Mill Hill, and I encourage you to buy the book from her website. We'll have a link posted, and you can get the book, support the featured poet. We really appreciate the support, and just check out this amazing book. You know, it's a book of poetry that you can also learn a lot from, and it has pictures. So anyway, really fantastic, groundbreaking poems, and I'm so happy to have Kimberly tonight. So without further ado, I will introduce our featured poet. Kimberly J. Sims' literary voice is rooted in the Southern tradition of storytelling. Informed by her British and Southern lineage, she is an award-winning poet who entertains and educates with poetry that is both poignant and inspiring. She was the 2016 Carl Sandburg National Historic Site Writer in Residence. That's just over in Flat Rock, North Carolina, and she is a member of the South Carolina Humanities Council's Speakers Bureau and a pioneer turned curator in the world of poetry slams. Big shout out to the poetry slams, and big shout to Kimberly. So y'all know the drill. Wherever you are, if you're at home in your living room, or maybe hanging out in your car, or maybe even in public somewhere with a mask on, or hanging outside the Kava bar right now, I want y'all to jump up and down, do a little dance, put your hands together, and make some noise for Kimberly J. Sims. Give it up! Hey, Kimberly.
Love it. Awesome. I love the sound
Hey.
effects. Y'all are so fancy.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you. That's actual recorded applause from the actual Kava bar open mic. Make it feel a little bit more like home.
Absolutely.
In these, digital times.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I am so glad you could be here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to mention also Kimberly wears a lot of different hats, but she is works as a curator for the Wits End poetry series, the Carolina Poets, which is also an online reading now,
Yep.
which you can check out. Just look up Carolina Poets. They have great featured poets. I've been tuning into those and just seeing some amazing poets. That's every other week, I
Every
think. Or
Thursday.
is it every Thursday? Okay, excuse me. Every Thursday. Perfect. Right, tomorrow.
Yes.
And so check out Carolina Poets, and also Wits End Poetry, which is a poetry open mic that has been, and y'all do a slam, right? And that's been going on for coming up on 18 years now.
Yes, we are
So
legal now.
yeah, they're legal now. So we're only 10 over here, but
All right.
that and we've had Moody Black on the show too. I know he hosts that sometimes.
Yep.
And I've been down there to feature with Justin Blackburn,
Yes.
and it is just such a good time down there. They really have it going on in Greenville, and I hope to make it down there again when y'all are doing that in person again. But
Yeah, we can't wait.
You do have a virtual event coming up with that?
So for Wits and Poetry, we're doing open mic on Sunday nights on our Instagram. That's at Wits and Poetry. But October 3rd, we're having a live event in Greenville, which I'm super excited about. We're going to be at Artistry, which actually is a big warehouse space. It has a garage door that rolls up. And so we're only selling 25 tickets so we can be socially distanced. Yeah.
That's
but
very
we'll be able to
distant.
spread out, have the fresh air. It'll be cool enough. And so we're going to do one live event a month. And then in January, we'll see where we're at. So,
right.
But we're going to actually take those events and they'll be live, but then they'll still be live streamed as well. So even if you don't get one of the 25 tickets, you can go online and check it out.
Very good. I love it. I love to see how people are adapting to, because I mean that's what we do, right? We put on poetry events, and then this one really threw us a curveball, but I'm glad to see you're adapting well to it.
Yes, and this is great too. Yeah, and I felt so bad. So many poets had books that came out, like, or had book tours scheduled in March, and suddenly it was like book tour over. So I think it's been so great that so many events have been able to create this kind of virtual book tour environment for people, because there's so many beautiful books that came out into the world.
Right. I know it seems like everyone I know is releasing books this year, and just everybody's readings got canceled.
I know.
So anyway, but I want to talk about your poetry. I love the book. This came out in 2016, right?
17, but it kind of officially. Okay. It's really 2018 by the time it hit shelves. 2018.
Okay. Shelves, yeah. And that's from Finishing Line Press. And this is really a fantastic book. I encourage everyone to get this. And yeah.
Thank you. And it was really fun to just focus on history. And it deals with the history of Western North Carolina, Western South Carolina, and Western Georgia. That whole Southern Piedmont, and focuses on kind of the 1920s, 1930s, which is so interesting right now because there's so many connections in that book to a life of hardship, and the ways that people find escape during difficult times. And I think that's something that we can really relate to here in 2020 that's so similar to things people went through 100 years ago.
Right. I can definitely see the parallels, and you actually went around and like researched these old mill towns, and which were such a for people who aren't familiar with the South, it basically like shaped the landscape around here. And there's these little mill towns all over the place, and you'll
just out in the middle of nowhere.
And then you'll see, there'll be all these mill shacks, and then you'll see the huge mill owner's mansion, and
exactly right.
Kind of formed a lot of the towns there, but well, I'm excited. You'll be reading some from this tonight, and
I'm going to do one or two.
Well.
Yep.
Excellent.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, but I do want to mention that if anyone has comments tonight for our featured poet, any questions, you can leave them in the comments, and we'll try to get those questions answered for you. But
Awesome.
anyway, I'm so excited. So
All right,
without
thanks,
further
Caleb.
ado, absolutely. Thank you, Kimberly. I want everyone to, y'all know what to do. Give it up one more time for Kimberly J. Sims. Make some noise.
Awesome. Thank you again, Caleb, and thank you to the Asheville Poetry Open Mic for having me tonight. I thought I would start with a poem called Fortune Tellers, just because it seemed apropos with everything that's been going on in the world. My parents are actually from England, and I was born here in the United States, but grew up in the Carolinas. But when I was a kid, my dad loved to go to fortune tellers. And so if we would be driving down the road and would see like that little red sign or the palm on the sign that indicates there's a fortune teller, we would stop and go. So this is kind of about that. It's called Fortune Tellers. And I think we probably could use some fortune tellers about right now. Fortune tellers never look like you expect them to. This one has hair-sprayed blonde bangs, purple eyeshadow, and boulder like amethyst rings. The room smells of country rose. Last time it was a middle-aged Black woman, natural with beige fingernails and short hair. She wore feather earrings and whispered, "Stop punishing yourself." This is common. Fortune tellers often urgently grab your wrist as you descend steps to impart an ambiguous shred of direction. Dad likes to have his cards read, while I prefer palm readings. Lifelines and crease countings remind me of cartography. We avoid the ones with crystal balls or hoop earrings. Wearing a purple turban is suspect in our books. Fortunes change constantly. Fortune tellers are like weathermen. It doesn't always rain, but carrying an umbrella never hurt anyone. And my parents are from Leicester. Both of them. My dad was born in Rugby, and my mom was actually born in Leicester. And then I actually had the opportunity to live in London for a few years. Oh, near Liverpool. Very cool. So since we have a lot of weather happening, I thought that I would read a hurricane poem. Since we are in the midst of a hurricane right now, I think we may get a little bit of it. I'm actually in the mountains of South Carolina right now. So as the, I think, crow flies, I'm not that far from Asheville, very close to Flat Rock. So this poem is called Surge. The air is salt sweet as October oysters, words lost like sandbirds among wind statuary, sculpted driftwood. The shore's indigo palette unfurls a halo of evening flame, fireweed flowers and riddles of thorns. This ocean landscape, my balm, my panacea. Then in a single day, our world's gauzy magic is flattened by a spire drowning hurricane. Flower gardens vanish beneath churning water. Unexploded histories exhumed in the flood. Mutinous winds flay coasts. White boats lumped in the bay like butchered crabs. Piles of distorted broken concrete falter. Pines pierce homes, crush cars, bruise hearts. Televisions broadcast cascades of sand. My wrecked gull searches for anchorage, but this lee shore landscape is too battered to salve my flapped emotions. Canals overtake streets, ferry debris as if Atlantis was our forgotten sister, inviting Poseidon to fork the flesh from our bones. With that poem, particularly now too, I've been thinking about so many of us turn to nature when things are tumultuous in our personal lives. And so when natural disasters strike and suddenly nature itself is no longer stable, it kind of adds this like double trauma. And I know that so many people right now are going through that, whether it's in the hurricane situation in Florida and along the coast, or even people in California, just, you know, that you can't even turn to this thing that's always been stable when it's nature itself that is in upheaval. that's just something I've been thinking about. This next poem is called Trespassing After the Hysterectomy. And I'm an amateur gardener on the amateur side. The lily of the valley, pearly bells tremble the way a child's mouth brims with laughter. Daffodils, headless green arms gesture, split heart subterranean, leaves blackened. Mole, how sweet is your tongue after your feast of bitter tulip daughters. Dark earth, how do you embrace the emptiness of your bloomless womb, your crumbling tubers? Lady slipper, my gloved hands long to plant, while your tendrils more exotic unfurl sharp leaves, pregnant blossom beneath the last living hemlock. And I'm in the mountains, so I do actually have some lady slippers in my yard here, which is kind of fun, if you know what those are. So I thought I would do an actual poem from my book, Lindy Lee, Songs on Mill Hill. Definitely please check out KimberlySims.com to get your copy. I will sign it and mail it directly to you. And there's actually a special on the website where you can get a copy for $15 instead of $20. The book is almost out of print, so I think I have like the last 20 copies on earth in my possession. And I think we were planning to do a reprint right when the pandemic hit, so I think we're going to kind of revisit that here when the world comes back to being a little bit more normal. But one of the things about the book is it's focused on, it tells like a story of this young girl who starts working at a textile mill when she's 10 years old and kind of follows her through her life. But it definitely has this theme of how do you escape when your life is at a machine 12 hours a day and the rest of the time you're trying to grow your own food and do just work all the time. And so this particular poem is called The Ugly Jug. It's a pantoum, which I think of as being like a braided poem. And it's from the point of view of Lindy Lee when she's about 10. And her dad has gotten into the Ugly Jug, which is where he keeps his moonshine. I'm kind of in moonshine territory right now. There's some old stills out here in these woods where people would try and make their liquor without the revenuers finding them. But I think in the South, we have a long tradition of people just kind of getting together in the woods and having a bonfire and playing musical instruments and having a good time. So this is that kind of poem. Ugly Jug. Daddy's been in the ugly jug. Them took it out in the woods. Now Daddy thinks he is in love with a squinty face, toothy tight. Them took it out in the woods. They got a fire and all night with a squinty face, toothy tight. The moon tonight shines so bright, hell. They got a fire and all night. Them hammering on banjos under a moon is shining bright. Later the boys will come to blows. Them hammering on banjos, falling over, laughing in stitches. Now Daddy thinks he is in love. Mama's about to pitch a fit. Falling over, laughing in stitches. Now Daddy thinks he is in love. Mama's about to pitch a fit. Daddy's been in the ugly jug. So this is kind of a light one. I've been doing a lot of Lindy Lee reading, so I decided I would kind of read some Appalachian stuff today, but that definitely falls into the category of Appalachia. So what I wanted to read next was the poem called Homestead, and it's just kind of about, you know, when you're kind of hiking off trail and you kind of find the remnants of like an old homestead or places where people used to live. And part of this poem is actually going to appear on a bus in Columbia as part of the Poetry on the Comet project by the poet laureate there, Ed Madden. So that's exciting, poetry on buses. So this is called Homestead, and it has a little epigraph. But nothing is solid and permanent. Our lives are raised on the shakiest foundations. Ron Rash, One Foot in Eden. A bolt of barbed wire, black with age, hints away, jutting from the undergrowth like a wizened digit. The post long since decayed and lost to the crumbling host of litter. This sunken corner is a garbled message till we catch a tree pierced with another barb. A stone pile murmurs, entangled with the metal. This forest expands in every direction. Our eyes can see no horizon beyond it. Mountains surge as we weave up and down valleys, creeks, and ravines. 80 years, a forest has fallen and regrown, homestead cleared, tilled, planted, harvested, then reclaimed by this hummocked beast. We follow the ancient line back to a single heartstone and the outline of a foundation. Here, an old stone wall, there, a glass bottle, all around us, a forgotten fence, an outpost of the past. So that's kind of a little tribute to hiking. And also, I just think it's so interesting that so many little civilizations have kind of come and gone in America, and people kept keeping on. Okay, I wanted to read another Appalachian poem. Hopefully I'm doing okay on time. I think Caleb will hopefully give me a signal if I go on too long. But this is called Throwing Gravel. I actually was a teacher here in this northwest corner of South Carolina for a long time. And actually where I live, a lot of the kids I taught were my neighbors. And sometimes you find out way too much about people when you live that close to them. And there's definitely some kids I've been thinking about during the pandemic, particularly in the spring when kids couldn't go to school to get their free lunches, or to possibly not every child has a responsible adult at home with them. So this is a poem about that. It's called Throwing Gravel. And all these poems have appeared in different literary magazines, but you can go on my website to find out more about that. Throwing Gravel. The sun rolls across the sky like an overdyed Easter egg in May, and the red dirt children are turned loose to throw their gravel. And the chickens scratch among the fleas and macaroni leftovers, and the raccoon sits a few paces back in the woods eating crusts of stale bread. And the trash is still strewn across the porch like a forgotten parade, while the man is busy lining the front windows with wrinkled tinfoil. And the woman is still asleep on the mattress on the floor, and the soup can awaits the hands of a 6-year-old who can barely write her name, but is expert with a can opener. And the rust-speckled refrigerator whirs at a great speed to preserve an almost empty bottle of ketchup and a jug of ammonia. The yellow phone hangs mute as a crescent moon, severed, alone. Outside, a lost stand of daffodils pushes their green necks up, but never have the strength to bloom. Okay, I'm going to finish off with one last poem. I think I have time. I wanted to finish off, and thank y'all for being such a great audience. If anyone does have questions, definitely let me know. And then you can also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Kimberly J Sims, and also, of course, on Facebook and Twitter. So this is a tribute to Eva Cassidy, who was a jazz singer. And she unfortunately died when she was in her 30s. But when she was alive, she had never become famous. She just played in really small little jazz dives and stuff. But posthumously, several of her records were discovered and ended up going platinum. And you can find her on Spotify and Amazon, things like that. Her name is Eva Cassidy, and this is a tribute to her. I work with kids a lot in the school, so I do a lot of helping them write tribute poems to famous people. So that's kind of why I've kind of got a number of tribute poems. Eva Cassidy, silken songbird, shimmering glitter of a lady, her voice blossoming like a pink azalea sunset while cancer smoldered across her body like a cigarette in an ashtray. She only 30, she floated out notes like stars into the murmurs of obscure jazz dives, galaxies of jazz bebop and bossa nova. She's so young, her quivering lips forming, and oh, she never learned her own value, never understood that she was already enough. While she floated out notes like stars, galaxies of jazz bebop and bossa nova, the sickness eroded her dreams, her low self-esteem giving her the blues. the tear on her cheek holding back a tide while she walked through fields of golden music. The piano was her rescue boat. As waves of cancer lapped at her heart, her voice was a bridge over troubled waters. She floated out notes like stars, galaxies of jazz bebop and bossa nova. But she was a butterfly born into an early frost, beautiful, unerring in its perfection, but too soon lost. Her hands beating out the syncopated rhythm of a soul, flighting to take flight like a songbird in the night. She lives now eternal, a talent that never knew her own worth. May her voice live in golden fields of jazz. May her beauty ride each note in galaxies of bebop and bossa nova. Silken songbird, Eva Cassidy. Thank you so much, everybody. This has been super fun. I think we've got some open micers coming up as well. Just really such an honor to be here tonight. Caleb, thank you for putting on this really wonderful series. It's so important that we can all kind of at least get together virtually, at least. But please definitely check out my website, www.kimberlysims.com, to get a book. I will sign it and mail it to you. And then also tomorrow night, we will be on Carolina Poets, which is a Facebook page where we focus on featuring poets that are from North and South Carolina or have some sort of Southern connection where they used to teach here or they're from here, etc. So definitely check that out. It's a great resource. We share actually opportunities to be published and other events as well. So if you've not liked that page, Carolina Poets, check it out, because if you're interested in poetry, I think you'll find a lot of great things that you'll like there. So, and then of course too, if you're into kind of more spoken word, check out Wits and Poetry. So great. Caleb, are you here still, or I can read more poetry? Here we go.
Oh yeah, I'm here listening intently.
Yay.
Thank you, Kimberly. That was a beautiful reading.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I love that. I love the fortune teller poem. I love the I love the stuff from Lindy Lee, of course. I've heard that stuff. It's good to hear it again, and I love the hurricane poem as well. That's right. We are getting, even though we're here in the mountains, we're getting a little bit of the tail end of the hurricane. Should be rolling in any time now.
Anytime.
So get ready for some rain. As if we haven't had enough.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. But Caleb, thank you so much again for having me. This is just such a great space for poetry to be shared.
Yeah, I think we had at least one question. Let's see. Oh, Christopher asks, where in England were your parents from?
So my dad, both are from the Midlands, Leicester. My dad's born in Rugby. Actually played rugby a lot. He was a semi-professional rugby player.
Oh, wow. It's a rough sport.
Yes, his knees are both replaced.
Yeah, right. Oh, wow.
But I still drink a lot of tea. So
right. Very good. Tea time. Okay. Let me see if we had anything else. Oh, Lee, yeah, skip Lee. I'll get you on there. And okay, we got some comments that I'll post, but I think that was it for the questions.
Great.
But I absolutely want to encourage everyone to check out the Carolina Poets
absolutely
tomorrow night. I just want to reiterate that that's a great reading series, and it's online as well. So
great.
Tune in, look it up on Facebook, all that stuff, and do buy Kimberly's book, Lindy Lee, and I do hope it gets reissued, but you've got some copies left, and you're happy to sign them.
I'll sign them and mail them to you.
Yeah, so buy it on the website, and she'll sign them and mail them.
Yeah, and only $15 right now, so.
Only $15?
We'll throw back
That's
to Sunday
right.
nights.
I know. I love it. I love it. Very good. Well, Kimberly, thank you so much for being here tonight. And I hope you can come back and join us again on
Me too.
here. And hopefully we'll have you in person. Are you closer to Asheville or Greenville where you are?
I'm in between. I'm pretty
You're
close.
like
Well,
right in between.
yeah, of course, now that the traffic in Asheville has gone ridiculous,
Oh, I know.
going up Highway
Jeez.
26 is a little bit longer than it
I
used to be.
know. We're not supposed to have traffic here.
I know. But yeah, I'm
But-
about equal distance between the two, so
Yeah.
I kind of pop both places or whatever.
All
You
right.
know,
Well,
or to Brevard.
right. Yeah, Brevard's cool. Well, hopefully we'll get you back up here soon. And
Awesome.
thank you so much for dropping by tonight and reading for us.
Awesome. Thank you, Caleb. I
Excellent.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. Everyone give it up one more time for Kimberly Sims. Make some noise. See you, Kimberly.
Bye.
Very good, and you're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from the mountains of North Carolina, right here in my living room. Thanks for joining me tonight. My name's Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host. Thanks for voting us best open mic night venue in Western North Carolina once again this year. We really appreciate it. And big shout out to our friends down at the Kava bar. What's up, y'all? By the way, if you're performing tonight, you also get a free double shot of Kava, so stop by the bar and pick up your dirt water. We love this stuff. Anyway, I think we got a few comments here for Kimberly. Yes, indeed. Want to let y'all know if you're performing tonight, make sure to follow the StreamYard link, enter the broadcast studio. We're going to get everyone on as soon as possible. And if you're watching, we really appreciate the likes, the comments, and the shares. We love sharing. Yes, indeed. A few more comments here for Kimberly. Oh, what's up, Guy? Big shout out to IMAVL. You can catch some good live music. IMAVL. Alex, what's up, man? You should come perform sometime. Thanks for commenting. Alex is an amazing flute player, an amazing throat singer, all kinds of stuff. Good stuff. Appreciate the comments, y'all. Very good. Be sure and support Sovereign Kava, our sponsor. And check us out. We're broadcasting live here each and every Wednesday night. We have a different featured poet every week and many other wonderful performers. Speaking of which, let's get some of those performers on here. I might have to rearrange the order a little bit, but I know we do have Zen up next. Zen's here. He's ready to go. And, yeah, let's see if we can beam in Zen. See what he has for us this week. Y'all know the drill. Make a whole bunch of noise for Zen Sutherland. You can see everyone clapping for you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Caleb, how's it going?
Hey, great. How you doing tonight, Zen?
Excellent. Lots on my plate, but, that's how it goes.
Yeah. I see you're in the laboratory tonight.
Yeah, making the things that drive that drive me crazy, drive Helen crazy, my wife.
Drives people crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we think they're cool. Zen makes some really cool technological things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Whole
That's
range of things.
a good way to put that.
Best way I can put that.
Yeah, I basically
Anyway.
take toys and make them do electronic things that they weren't intended to do. So there's that.
Right. Right. Very good. What do you have for us tonight? Some poetry?
Well, yeah, I have a few new and a few older, but mostly around love and relationships, and relationships maybe not so good, but gone south. But But
At
yeah,
least you got some poems out of it.
yes, exactly.
Hey, well, we're all about love here on the Love Stream, so that works.
That we are.
And I will I'll go ahead and turn it over to you now, Zen. But thanks
Okay.
for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Y'all give it up for Zen.
Thanks so much, Caleb, and thanks for Sovereign Kava, as always, for doing what they do best, which is serving the people, making them happy. I've got a couple of poems, and in no particular order. I have a bunch of kind of love songs, love poems, shorties, to my wife, who saved my life, but that's not even part of this story. So the first one I'm going to read is called You, I, We. You were a knobby-kneed Florida tomboy. I was a tow-headed Louisiana soot-foot. We went about our business, knowing we had to grow up first. You lived by the beach, attending progressive college. I walked out of high school and onto the Appalachian Trail. We practiced searching for each other. You married a man who gave you a beautiful baby boy. I married a woman who gave me proof that I needed you. We held creativity and love close to our hearts. You gave your love to friends and family and found you still had more. I listened and talked and tried fixing people into something I knew was out there. We began searching for the path that led to each other. You married again, hoping. I moved to Florida, hoping. We followed family to Asheville, not quite knowing why. You called me on the phone. I came over to kiss you. We fell in love forever. And that's a true story. Well, all poems are true, or all poems are not true. Believe whichever you want. This next poem is called Curb Alert. It's about, the connections between people when there's sometimes, you just never know. Curb Alert. He puts out a shaky aluminum ladder. I put out an ailing shop vac by the roadside. He pulls the crud from the hose, some foam shit I tore up. I screw in new bolts to sturdy up the ladder. A little love where willing fixedness makes new what each other saw as worthless. He borrows an electrical cord to vacuum out his truck as I stand on the first rung to write this poem. The next one is called The Good Book of Matches. It's about my religious upbringing, or the lack thereof. As the son of a devout atheist, I carefully counted and recounted my sins and the subsequent burning lies about those sins, because I had no priest to absolve me, no Easter outfit to stuff my poor behavior into the jacket pocket of righteousness. Forgotten in the ragged dark of a musty closet, I felt naked in front of the non-Lord, the unspeakable, the mutable. The pungent smell of sulfur was not the hellfire and brimstone of Hades, but the irresistible urge to strike matches, flame watching in my room when no one, no God, was present. I sinned just like the other children and watched 1,000 matches burn, but had no candle to light my salvation. The next one's about a relationship not so good. It's one of those maybe sweet, sad things that you wish could have worked but didn't. There's a lot of those, but we find love later. It's called A Bitter Kiss in 3 parts. 1, my existence, the hand of my living, somehow threatens your eggshell security. You attack the delivery of that truth rather than bruise your fantasy ideas and turn on me like a rabid dog with snarls of how you regretted opening the door to me. I shut the door quickly, hoping not to pinch your foaming tongue in the painted frame of my darkness. 2, I overstep boundaries you never defined out loud. As my ungrateful laughter spills across the empty hallway, your invitation immediately withdrawn as a white, unsigned birthday card. Because shit. 3, we both celebrate the death of our friendship, each in our own private, quiet calculation, the rancorous unraveling of our past in favor of new vistas, bright with desert rain that evaporates before it reaches the ground. Epilogue. A bystander tells her young child that fallen leaves are nature's trash. This is another one, a love poem. It's called Sleeping with My Hairdresser. 2 most intimate moments are hearing the soft confidentiality of her breath as she sleeps, and the fond mindfulness as she cuts my hair. Quiet times, each, of both dreaming and doing while being in love. Next one is another shorty called Turmoil Camouflage. Get together and form a summer. Pull all your legs in one basket, turn up the heat, and fly. If you travel at the same speed and with the same anger as the storm around you, you hardly even feel it. And no one sees your forest for all the uprooted trees. Last one is called, it's a little bit longer, but it's called When I Die. When I die, do just one thing for me. Kiss your mother once for me, even if she's not on this earth. Play one silly joke at work. Try hard to like one person you currently distrust. Vote once for a liberal candidate. Make one friend of someone not in your group. End one serious statement with, "So said Dr. McPoop." Take one photo of a reflection in a store shop window. Be naked somewhere other than the bathroom. Buy one artist's work. Give something away that you think is precious. Hum one James Taylor song to yourself. Let one mobile device deliberately discharge completely. Treat yourself to a good meal at least one time. Keep that one snarky comment to yourself. Buy one lottery ticket and throw it away before you check it. Tell someone you don't know, "Ain't love grand?" Wear one sock with a hole in it and secretly just know. Explore underneath one bridge that you cross regularly. Remember one friend that you've lost and just say their name out loud. Tell one person a brutal truth without hurting their feelings. Pick up one thing you threw down and put it where it belongs. Forgive one relative their indiscretions, and think of one thing that should be on this list but isn't, and do it. So when I die, do just one thing for me. Light one candle and make one edge of the great darkness that much smaller. Thanks, everybody. It was fun to read. It was fun to listen.
Absolutely, Zen. Great to listen to you as well. Yes, that one did sound like quite a rocky relationship. But,
yes. Well, that was a tough one.
As they can be. But I love the last one too. That's really a beautiful eulogy.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
As I grow older, I think more about going ahead and dying. I am embracing it in a very positive way. In fact, I've set the date to about when I'm 80-ish, 85.
Yeah.
Of course, when I was younger, it was much earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Old is 40 when you're 20.
Oh yeah. And then I guess you once you get there, you're like, well, maybe I could get a little more time.
Yeah, I could do a little. I got stuff to do,
Right.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate getting to speak early, but I will be listening for absolutely as long as I can, because I love what you're doing. I think and I always have, but lately I've been enjoying the venue itself, the medium, seeing into people's rooms, watching them talk in a very intimate way. It's just me and them, even though we comment on Facebook. So keep it up, sir.
Thank you so much, Zen. I really appreciate the support, and hope to see you again next week.
You will.
Thanks a lot. It means a lot. Y'all give it up one more time for Zen.
Love you.
Yes, indeed. Much love here on the Love Stream. Thank you, Zen. Much love. And big shout out once again to our featured poet tonight, Kimberly J. Sims. Please do check out the website, KimberlySims.com. She's got books for sale. She'll sign them and mail them to you. You can order right now on the website. It's a great, really great book that deals with a lot of the local history here. Very good. Also, check out the Carolina Poets. Many thanks to Carolina Poets for their support, and check out their reading every Thursday. Right there on their Facebook page. You can find Carolina Poets on Facebook. Anyway, my name's Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host tonight, and we really appreciate the support, all the likes, comments, and shares. And many thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. Very good. All right. Cool. We got some more performers coming at you here. Let's see who we have coming up next. We've got Christopher T. George in the house. Then we're going to Stephen Energia. And then we have Lee Stockdale with us tonight. Kevin Evans. We've got Valerie, a.k.a. Priestess Super Vixen, in the house. David Eberhardt, I think, is joining us tonight. And we have Morgan Guyton and Kelly Hoyer. We got Phoebe, and we got Emilio coming up later on, I think. So anyway, that's the order, and we're gonna go ahead and get Christopher T. George beamed in here. Oh, we did have some comments for Zen, I believe. Yes, indeed, go Zen. Yeah, there's some good humorous stuff there. Awesome. Alex will be by next week. Thank you, Alex. Yes, appreciate you. Gotta stay safe. Everybody stay safe out there. Wear those masks. And of course, yeah. And don't forget to vote too. That's coming up. That's important. Very good. Very good. Some more comments there for Zen. And thanks again for voting us best open mic night venue in Western North Carolina. Sovereign Kava, Mountain Express. Big ups. Appreciate the support. Very good. All right. Let's get Christopher in here. Y'all know what to do. Make a whole bunch of noise. This is Christopher T. George. Good evening, Christopher.
Good evening, Caleb. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well tonight, especially now that I'm doing some open mic. How are you doing tonight?
All right, great.
Wonderful.
Kimberly's poems kicked off a few thoughts for me, especially this connection between the UK and the United States. A few years ago, I guess this was actually back in the 80s. I was contacted by a woman who was originally from Liverpool. She'd seen a poem of mine and realized I was from Liverpool and read it and got in contact with me. Yeah.
Oh.
Older than me, she was the same age as my mother, and they both became firm friends. Her name was Margaret Goings. The poem that she read of mine is called A Dock in Liverpool, England. Above a dock with no ships and no water, seeds drift from a dandelion clock. All the people who sailed from Liverpool to America, all seeds, all gone. Now, Margaret married an American. And what did she do except go to North Carolina to a place called Crumpler, which I believe is north of Charlotte. I was just looking at the map. It isn't quite as far west as Asheville. But from what I understand, it was a kind of know-nothing sort of place. And here was Margaret coming from a big city like Liverpool. Baltimore, where I lived for a long number of years, was known as the Liverpool of the East Coast of America. And so that kind of gives you an idea of the size of Liverpool, and her landing up in this little rural place in the hills of North Carolina. She always denied that she was a GI bride. Nevertheless, the man that she married, Mr. Goings, was a GI. This is called GI Bride to Margaret Goings, R.I.P. He came with dollars and promises and a Colgate smile, his new minted accent cut like a mystery through the iron syllables of the northern town. She found his land to be a great juicy hamburger, chrome car fenders, and mystical skyscrapers. Swept up in the fast-paced world, beep, 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 she forgot the washing flapping on the line, the gasometer rising like a curse above the coal smoke. Her tears only came later. One of the poems that Kimberly read kind of reminded me of this poem, English Autumn. I see it in the stern face of this Roman god of autumn, laureled in gold and russet leaves, who stares at me from this mosaic rescued from the damp English soil. I see it in the black trunk of this ancient elm, which showers the empty bridle path with gold, though its brother has been bitten to a stump. And I see it in the eyes of the old major who represses a shiver, waiting for the Whitehall bus, staunchly at attention in the drilling damp. I am a historian. I'm going to be ordering Kimberly's book. Yeah. Because it sounds as if not only did I enjoy her poetry, and I'm a big Ava Cassidy fan, but the historical aspects of her book, I think, will interest me too. So I'm going to end with a couple of Civil War poems, one about Antietam, one about Gettysburg. The anniversary of Antietam is on us. As you may know, it's the biggest battle in American history. I believe 20,000 men were killed at Antietam here in, well, I'm no longer in Maryland, but in Western Maryland. And I've been at Antietam. A squirrel scrambles where a soldier died. I sit on a lichened rock in a wood where on that one day every living thing was blasted from the trees. On this damp dirt below my heel, brother murdered brother, the dead piled chest deep in public carnage. I have seen the photographs of those brothers laid back in that terrible sleep, faces pale in the morning aftermath, jackets once blue or gray, united in shades of gray. And I'll finish with this one, the cyclorama at Gettysburg. Each time the park ranger turns on the lights, pickets men hurtle to their deaths, charging onto the Union bayonets as an already defeated wave, their Confederate banner streaming death red. The two-story canvas encircles us with a carnage that never ceases, a war that never ends. Near us, bored children horseplay, oblivious to their to their teachers' commands. Don't they know that around us everywhere, the blood will never dry, even when the ranger turns off the lights? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it. I love seeing those historical parallels there. I love it when you can see another poet and kind of be inspired to read certain poems as if their poems are having a conversation, you know. So
yeah, incidentally, as a historian, I don't think, maybe this is a controversial thing to say these days, that the Civil War was all about slavery. I don't think the common soldier thought that. They were fighting for their own plot of land and their family, rather than it being about slavery. Yeah, the slavery was a
certainly
factor,
one of the factors, yes, but
yeah.
Yeah, seeing how people actually viewed that at the time, it's interesting. Takes some historical research. Yeah, thank you for adding that, and have a great night, Christopher.
You too, Caleb.
We'll see you again. Take care.
Right.
Everyone give it up one more time for Christopher D. George. Very good. All right. Y'all are tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. We appreciate you tuning in. Many thanks for all the likes, comments, and shares. But anyway, we have a few comments here for Christopher. Thank you, everyone. Yes, appreciate the comments, definitely. And many thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava. If you're performing tonight, you get a free double shot from Kava and Sava. So check it out at the bar. You can also sign up there if you don't have Facebook. Anyway, we appreciate it. We'd love for new people to come join us from all over the world. And yes, indeed. All right. Let's see. I think next up we have Steven, and then we're going to Lee, and then we have Kevin, Valerie, David, Morgan, Phoebe, Kelly, Emilio, Justin. Did we have anyone else? If we had anyone else, make sure to follow that StreamYard link in the studio so we know you're ready to go. And we'll keep this thing moving along here tonight. But anyway, I'm very excited to hear from our next poet. Always a good time with Steven. Y'all know what to do. Jump up and down. Make a whole bunch of noise for Steven to enter here.
Hi, thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
Hey, Steven.
It's good
to see you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Where are you joining us from tonight?
So I am now up in Champaign-Urbana, which is up in Illinois. And yeah,
cool.
I'm kind of
so you're in the new place?
Yeah. I'm
good.
at my mom's house. I'm kind of nestled between a field of soybeans and a field of corn. And
wow.
each
very Midwest.
Yeah, very Midwest. Each block out here is a mile long. So basically it's soy as far as I can see in one direction, and then I can kind of see the city in the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. I'm glad you got moved, and I'm glad you could get reconnected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have some poems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I'm excited to hear your work, and I'll go ahead and tune it over to you. But
Thank you.
It's good to see you, and everybody out there, give it up one more time for Steven. Make some noise.
Thank you. Good to see you, Caleb.
Likewise.
All right. So these first couple poems are a series that kind of go together, and the titles should explain them. Self-portrait thinking about life, spying on drunk neighbors after turning the TV off. Tomorrow it'll be back to PBS Kids, but tonight Mom let me watch Secrets of the Dead. Not her best idea. Those doctors' masks? Horror already. But the plague? Something you can't see killed more people than I can picture. And the fleas! I wish I couldn't picture them. They look evil. I mean, look at their spiky legs. I mean, look at what they carried. Look at what they made people do. I mean, look at those masks. That show was scary. Like the voices are scary outside, sharp and blended. They talk loud, and they shove their words together, and their voices pile onto each other. Onto the bed, I climb and push two plastic blinds apart, as wide as my pinky. Now, across the driveway, I see the voices are my neighbors and some other faces stumbling around, talking strangely about strange things. They shoot curses into the air and keep getting louder. I spy a little longer, then lie back in bed. As their fever dies down, I fall almost asleep. Then a fight breaks out and I lie frozen until my mom's voice helps my blood flow back. So yeah, with this project, I don't think I'm done writing it yet, but for each of these poems, I'm trying to capture myself at a different age leading up to now, but these poems are almost all from a bit before, when I was a bit younger. Self-portrait, thinking about life, listening to drunk neighbors after turning the TV off. These days, I have my own room. These days, I stay up later, tonight, for instance, watching Star Trek The Next Generation come on or waiting for Star Trek The Next Generation to come on WGN. My eyes especially bleary, since whoever runs these things stuck it in that sleepy midnight time slot. Wednesday nights between South Park and the Bob and Tom Show, also available on your local radio. I live for these shows. Not Bob and Tom, really, but the other two. Watching Star Trek, I beam into a sleeker world, one filled with new life, new civilizations, and skin-tight uniforms. It's truly a world of wonder and possibility, but one I can imagine one day reaching if I wait long enough. And then there's South Park. When I laugh at Cartman's vulgarity or Kyle's righteous cynicism, it's because, yes, it's funny, but also because I too know about the world. I too know the way people flock to a creed, to a brand new idea. I too know the shifting land between a strict household and free reign. I too know that the joke is funniest when it has to be whispered in a locked room. I know about the world and what it means to be grown. My neighbors made sure of that. Jonathan educated me on the smell of good weed. The viejito next door gave me my first taste of cheap beer, and the bartender across the driveway went out of his way to make sure I knew what breasts looked like in person, though I was 12. And listen, there they are now. Can't you hear them outside? How they howl and hoot and shout about the mysteries of a world I can almost reach. Vulgar like Cartman, but mysterious as a new frontier. How I want to join them out there. South Park would have you believe that you get dumber as you get older, but I know different. I'm sure there's so much they could show me. Tomorrow is a school day, though, and anyways, my mom can hear it all, too. And now we come to early in 2020. Self-portrait, thinking about life, eavesdropping on drunk neighbors after turning the TV off. A few years and states later, I find myself trapped by a pandemic in an apartment with my girlfriend, the only partner I'd ever happily be trapped with. With the news raging like it likes to do, I find myself binging worlds outside the jurisdiction of possibility. Too versed in my own world, I take these nightly vacations, fade myself into alternatives filled with undersea capitalists, knuckle-headed ninjas, casters, and castles. Last night, for instance, I stayed up playing the high-definition nostalgia remake of Shadow of the Colossus, a game I never touched growing up. I'll admit, even seeing so many forms of its poison in the world, I'm still a sucker for violence in a story. I escape this world's poisons through worlds of computer-generated explosions and animated blood, of warriors, warmongers, and wayward adventurers armed to the teeth. Colossus knows that. Its writers know my type, the people who want to live locked in a battle of light and shadows, simple lines. Yeah, let's say it knows our type and lets us know. Stories tend to end though, and tonight, held by my headphones, I sprint across that bridge. I relish the rewards of my journey as the credits roll by and sit tight for one last plot twist. Then, as I drift off, around 3 a.m. probably, I hear a sound so familiar. A number of my neighbors out on the back porch, cawing at each other about China, their right to say the N-word, and other times they fought drunk. Funny thing growing up, The more I understand drunk folks, the less sense they seem to make. The less sense they seem to make, the more I realize their incoherence wasn't on me. But I do understand it now, that incoherence. I've been the one babbling on, 6 or so drinks deep, thinking I was the neighborhood's new sart. I've even often sat with them on this porch. I could now, if I wanted, but I'm tired and behind schedule, and I already woke Jimena once, and anyways, they don't seem to stay 6 feet apart. I'm sorry about that last bit. I wish I could tell you I had some moment of moral clarity, that I said something, said how serious this all is. I didn't. No, I laid there, drifting in their loudness, something so familiar, nostalgic even, comforting. And I have one more that I think I can read within the 10 minutes. I wonder who in this apartment is listening to a compilation of the Hunter x Hunter 2011 ending themes, sobbing. Definitely isn't me or anything. But don't we all know the way a melody can work its way into our marrow, swim between the blood cells, and sponge up a bit of that moment of who, right then, we think we are, tie a bit of our heartbeat to its own cadence? How, years later, it can play that person back into our body. When I play the theme, almost, the show's run hasn't ended. I am back in the buzz of possibility, the journey's throw still tight in my chest. Specifically, this character still hasn't found that character. This trope was just subverted, and the arc is still thrumming towards its luminous desolation. And there it is, there in an apartment I've long left, there across from the couch where I would recline with my boo, watching the show. The ending theme, specifically the fifth one. Listen, it blooms through the speakers just before the credits roll, just so. Syncopating story and echo, washing me into the absurdity of the moment, washing me into its gravity. It grabs me with a touch I had almost forgotten. Of course I hadn't. Of course it courses through each time like the last, or compounded, a wave on top of a wave. If it was a poem, we would study it. The whole series would be required reading. Imagine the fandom in the workshop, a serious old academic in a serious old coat, very seriously weeping at the final plight of a human ant chimera king who looks something like a cross between Imperfect Cell and a Squirtle. Now, the much more light-hearted professor exploring with us the moral quandary of another chimera ant, a crack sniper who also happens to be a short octopus man, who shifts loyalties from ant to human, who could never bring himself to kill, his instincts overwritten. Scholars would argue about the exact way the theme's early entrance makes a syncopation, the way it reflects the mood and creates it. Maybe there is a word for this. I know little of film. And I would still be waiting for the next arc, the next ocean to fill me. If a story never reaches its end, can it be anything? Thank you.
And thank you, Steve. Beautiful work, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that last one especially.
I appreciate it. I'm always happy to rave about my favorite shows and my favorite anime endings, and finally getting to do it in a poem has been pretty great.
Right. I love that, and I love seeing material that's not often talked about in poetry. That's always nice as well. But you do it beautifully, and I'm so glad you could be back with us tonight.
Thank you.
And I certainly I hope you can make it again soon.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always great to be here.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you, Steve, and we'll see you again soon. But thank you so much for dropping by, and yeah, glad you got moved in and all that. And
Thank you.
we'll be seeing you again soon.
Thank you. Take care, Caleb.
Absolutely. Take care, brother. Everyone, give it up one more time for Steven Energia. Very good. Well, you know it. You're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. We're here each and every Wednesday night for all kinds of open mic fun. Thanks for voting us best open mic night venue in Western North Carolina again. Sovereign Kava, our sponsor. This is Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for your support. I think we have a few more comments for Steven here. Yes, indeed. We appreciate all the comments. Yes, indeed. You can catch us on Facebook Live and live on the Sovereign Kava YouTube channel. Yeah. Oh, I love this comment from Zen. It's very true. You know, I saw that living through the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. It's fairly universal. Indeed. Cool. Let's see. I think we got Lee up next. Many thanks again to our featured poet, Kimberly Sims. And y'all can buy the book at KimberlySims.com. She'll sign it and mail it to you. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Y'all check out the Carolina Poets reading tomorrow night. Very good stuff. Indeed. Let's see if we can beam in Lee. Lee lives here in Asheville, and he's been to many of the in-person open mics here. It's always good to see Lee. Let's see. Lee Stockdale, y'all make some noise. Good evening, Lee. How you doing?
Good. Nice music in the background, Caleb.
Oh, thanks. That's my band, the Kava Lactones.
Yeah, I like the piano. Who's playing the piano?
You've jammed with us before.
Yes, I have. And guess what?
Yeah.
When you go live again, I'm going to come and play piano in one of these open mic things. Yes, instead of poetry, because in this COVID thing, you got to do what you got to do. So I've been playing piano.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I got 2 poems tonight. I'm going to read 2 poems. And the first is an homage I got out of a 30-day silent meditation retreat last year. Wow. And I checked my phone and it said, "Hey, we're publishing your poem, T.J. Eckelberg's Eyes." And I thought, I need to go meditate more often.
Yeah, right? I know.
Right? So, all right. So this is...
That was worth not speaking for a month. Very cool.
Yeah, right. Okay. And so you might know, you remember, T.J. Eckelberg was in the billboard in The Great Gatsby. He was the billboard going in and out of from East Egg to Manhattan. They'd look up, and you never knew what Fitzgerald was trying to, communicate with this, because it was just these big eyes for T.J. Eckelberg's optometry practice. So I wrote this. Okay, it's kind of an ekphrastic thing. It's T.J. Eckelberg's Eyes.
Yeah, that would be ekphrastic. Cool.
T.J. Eckelberg's eyes have taken up residence in the street outside my apartment, about 20 feet up above the top floor, so that TJ can't see directly into my apartment, but can see me fully when I stand in the window looking down into the street, or as I am now looking up at TJ's eyes, which hover immovably about 50 feet apart, so that I can never look into both his eyes, plural, at once, but must move my eyes from one of his eyes to the other, left to right, or right to left. What interests me is that T.J. Eckelberg's eyes have come to me rather than my having to go to them. I thought the thing was, one must drive past or under T.J. Eckelberg's eyes. To say they are a symbol for an omniscient God is too easy. They are a symbol for Vladimir Putin's hacking into American democracy. No, I'm kidding. This much is true. Like the eyes in certain paintings, no matter where you are, you can move over here, move over there. You can go downstairs, sit on the stoop, or walk to the bodega. The eyes follow wherever you go. Each eye is about 6 feet wide and 3 feet high. I thought you'd want to know this. I am now on the fire escape, looking between the eyes, focusing on neither one, but by looking between them, my peripheral vision allows me to get a good view of the total picture. And here's what I have done with T.J. Eckelberg's eyes. I have turned them into the smiling pink plastic clock where the eyes go one way while the tail goes another. Swish, swish, because you can't let T.J. Eckelberg's eyes take over. You must have some say in the matter. The other poem that I'll read is called Are You Jackie Kennedy? I wrote a poem that drew from the same facts when I was at the University of Washington, and I gave it to the journal, the literary journal, to publish. And Sean Bentley, the editor, saw me in a hall, and he said, well, we're not going to publish that because, it's not true. And I said, well, it is true, and it happened. He was actually my poetry professor's son, Nelson Bentley. The interesting thing is, just in the last few months, a wonderful poet read this poem and said, well, I like it, even if it never happened. So I'm telling you, this happened. So my father was a friend of Jack Kennedy's and his ambassador to Ireland. So we lived in Ireland. And 10 days after the assassination, my father committed suicide. So that's something I have to deal with and have dealt with in poetry. This is called Are You Jackie Kennedy? I pick up my cab at the West Side docks, shoot into Midtown by regular route. 3 men flag me down for 70th and Park. I drop them off, and on the opposite corner, a woman I recognize raises her hand. She gives me an address on Central Park West. I know who it is, but ask, are you Jackie Kennedy? Yes, she says. Do you know who I am? No. I'm Grant Stockdale's son. How weird, she says, and leaning forward, you look just like your father. I say, your voice is so hard. Your voice is so soft. It's hard to hear you through this bulletproof glass. Yes, she says, pointing to the round pattern of holes we must talk through. They even look like bullet holes. Suddenly embarrassed to be my father's son, I don't tell her I live next door to the Hells Angels and chase rock and roll poetry up East Village fire escapes. I'm taking time off from college. I don't really know what I want to be. Maybe a psychiatrist or an Episcopal priest. Oh, John and Caroline don't know what they want to do either. And just like that, she makes me feel like one of her kids. It's like chatter now. The February cold, the city. She comes around, pays the fare at my window. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. She walks away, then turns back to give me the famous Jackie Kennedy smile. An event that stuck with me. Well, thank you, Caleb. Great night. I can't wait to hear Kevin and Valerie, Morgan, Phoebe, Kelly, Emilio. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Lee. Wow, I love that. Beautiful poems, and that's all true too. Lee actually grew up around the John F. Kennedy White House, when his father was an ambassador for Kennedy. So yeah, thank you for sharing that bit of history with us and those beautiful words. All of that. I can't thank you enough for being here, Lee. It's always good
thank
to see
you.
you, and I
Good to see
look
you,
forward
Caleb.
to when we can get together in person again at the Open
Yeah,
Jam,
yeah.
doing some jamming and hearing
Yeah,
hearing the
man.
piano, hearing the new piano skills.
Yeah.
So
All right. Thank you.
all right, have a great night, Lee. Y'all give it up one
Thank
more
you.
time for Lee Stockdale. All right. And you know it. You are tuned into the one and only Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for voting us at Sovereign Kava the best open mic night venue in Western North Carolina. That just came out in the Express today. We appreciate that. And we really appreciate y'all's continued support as we continue this open mic that we've been doing for almost just about 10 years now. 10 years in October here in Asheville, providing a place for us open mic freaks to get together each and every Wednesday night and share our creativity with one another and whoever else we welcome. We welcome all. Thank you for being here. Yes, indeed. Now we're keeping it going in the virtual realms with the Poetry Open Mic Asheville love stream, bringing you a little love and creativity in these trying times. So y'all stay safe out there and keep standing up for what is right. And, don't forget to get out and vote this November. It's an important one. All right. I believe we have Kevin Evans next. We love Kevin Evans. Kevin Evans has been doing this open mic for almost 10 years now, since the old days at Lexington Station. And it's always good to have Kevin in the house. Oh, we did have a few comments for Lee, I think. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah. I know, right? Good stuff. Yes, indeed. Oh, yes, and our theme music, Lee, thanks for plugging that. Our theme music tonight is from my band, the Kava Lactones. I play drums in the group, so we get to use the music for free. No copyright. Works out. Awesome. What's up, Holland? Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, y'all. Much love, everyone. And thanks for joining us here each and every Wednesday night for the Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Let's get Kevin Evans on here. Y'all know what to do. Wherever you are, jump up and down and make a whole shit ton of noise for Mr. Kevin Evans. Give it up. Oh, wait, hold on. Kevin, there's Kevin. Hold on. Oh yeah, if you have another tab open, close there.
Oh, is that what's happening?
I think it's working now. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, we're good then. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good. Am I still doubled up? I see two of me.
No, I got rid of it. I don't know how that happened, but I think it's fixed now.
Yeah, it's probably something I did anyway. But yeah, I'm doing all right. How you, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm having a good time. I'm doing open mic with my friends.
Yeah.
I love doing this thing. I can't believe I'm still doing it, but people
Right.
keep showing up, so thanks for being here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man,
Yeah, man.
Kimberly was great too. You know, of course,
Right?
everybody's great, but Kimberly, like, is our feature was. I always enjoyed hearing her poetry anyway, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she
It's really
and
down to earth. Yeah.
and a lot of it is stuff that's like in my head. That's kind of like, so it's almost like I feel like when she was talking about the nature poem and the storms and stuff. I wrote a poem about like this time of year and certain things going on right now too,
That's
related to
great.
nature.
Yeah, I
So
was
that
just talking about that. How one person will read a poem and it kind of inspires someone else to read another poem, and you get this conversation happening through poetry throughout the night.
yeah.
So, thanks for contributing to the combo, man.
Hey, it's great to be here to contribute to it.
Absolutely. Cool. So you got that one and a few other poems, maybe some blues harp. What you feeling?
Yeah, yeah. We'll see what happens. I mean, I would like to mix in a little blues hop. It seems like it's been a little while since I did it here.
Yeah. I always love
So
hearing the blues harp.
yeah, I've got some different new stuff and some. I want to read an old poem about the fall since the fall's upon us now. It feels like.
I know it feels like it. It's been getting pretty cold, especially the past few nights, and we got a little storm blowing in tonight. So fall is
Hmm.
approaching for sure.
Yeah.
But I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, man. Cheers, and
All right, cheers, man.
absolutely. Hey, y'all make some noise one more time for Kevin Evans.
Okay, so I'm going to start with an older poem called "The Colored Offspring." I've read it at many open mics over the years because it's kind of about the change of season in autumn, but kind of the personification of trees and nature as well. It's part of me. It was written October 25th, 2014. Do the maples and the sweet gums ever acquire diabetes? Or is it built in already? Red blood, sugar sweetened in the leaves you are shedding. Purple, orange, yellow, gold, and green. Coppered and green, coppered, and the sometimes opaque neon with which you streak in brightly braced blades. Something holy, especially when it's barely hanging, and the thread is from a beat up, banged up, de-strummed, abandoned, burnt banjo. And the shacks of the houses in the woods are far back, cracked originally in maple, pine, hickory, and oak, I suppose, to make home of the riot of the timber. Check the temperature, then hang the tambourine upon old rusted canister and hold on tight to the mighty spine of the most expressive, moving yet statued dancer. She changes hair colors, but rarely does she drastically shift her mind and heart, bracing against the tempt in the drunk, at times belligerent pumps of the winds, Arctic infested. An artist as well, begging to shake up the rhythms and colors. Sisters, brothers, cousins, fathers, mothers. They all come from the dirt, just as has and will occur the return. They all spread via water to endure many a growth spurt, for to cure crazy crutch split from smoked sappy blood, stewed, roasted, and hushed into cuddled knife, fork, and spoon. All right. So, okay. This poem I had written earlier today. It's called Brianna's Louisville Lament. And this is related to the settlement, the news of the settlement of $12 million for Breonna Taylor's family. So anyway, this is from just today. If only $12 million could make your heart beat again, if it could remove the heavy wounds that violently exited you into rest out of rest. And the underbelly of the country, city, world has finally erupted from where we lied about our underlying restlessness. Diagnose a whole world with depression and act like there were no reasons. Just as there are reasons to be grateful, such as this air, the things for every born earthling hoped to be truly inalienable. But some folks are aliens in their own homes. Homegrown hometown of Muhammad Ali, old village of Louis, where the bluegrass meets the Northern Territory, the drama tugging against North Star-crossed magnetic gravity. And we are still debating if killing is right. Punishable, ironically, with life for life. Money is supposed to be a blessing. If only it could bring anybody back to life the way love tries. If only 12 million could give back a life. 12 months, 4 seasons, just one more of the next 28 days. The rivers are designed to carry the runoff of all the past, present, and future sun drops, forged in blood via torch. And let's see what we have here. All right, here's another poem I wrote earlier today, September 15th, 2020. It's untitled at this time, and it may not even be finished. I don't really think it is, but I'll read what I have so far. And Kimberly, when she read her poem, it like sparked, there was a little bing in me because I was, a lot of times we process basically the same things. We just may say it a little bit differently or have a slightly different perspectives as far as people. The last stretch of summer in September is a reminder of how violent can be nature. Though at times dressed and perfumed as candy, the acorns are popping and slamming as if target practicing, as the squirrels are scattering and squirming, gathering in the middle of most natural midnight crisis. As the oceans swirl ninja stars that can end droughts or spout valleyed Atlantis prayers of mercy. And the way lightning and tornadoes can carry lifetimes as time capsules and portals in stereo, as everything in sight starts to resemble the old black and white television scrambled, forced to hide out under your home. All the people you love, all the people that love you, down there with you, even if you can't see them. And that's that one. I guess the latest poem I've written. And I have another one that I've been working on the past week because there was a possibility that during a live stream for the Blue Ridge Pride ceremony, I was going to be asked to read, or that I was propositioned that at one point. I don't know if that's going to happen. So, but anyway, even if it doesn't happen, at least I'm getting a pretty cool poem out of it. Perhaps we'll see. But this is something I've been working on here that is untitled at this time. Trapped in upper echelons of the dawn, illumination explosive and contagious. Indigo rainbow children, once plain Jim and Jane, named in hideaway maze, muffled and drizzled out of natural technicolor, repurposed and disserviced as fertilizer of gutter, although still the rose, poppy, sunflower, pansy, and dandy abundantly grow from out of the darkest depths of that hollow, left condemned to trim own self out of blood, root, out of skin, in mangled, tangled definition, alphabet community, alphabet children. But I heard you. You simply asked God what your real name was, what your real name is. I see you breaking out of cocoon that is a diamond of a prism, chrysalis split as pinata, Princess, Miss, and Mr. Magnolia, releasing moonstone, washed butterflies and moths hanging from bittersweet twisters in the desert. Please remember that you were not mistaken for entering the gate to a world that the wind spins on its axis. At times, we beg and question everything on a search to find divine inner peace. Any one of us, as we roam, may find ourselves upon our knees, blind to the shine and numb to the heat of our own heartbeat occasionally. Lost in upper echelons of wet daydream monsoon season, though the autumn is already sprinkling and spackling upon everything, as smoky ghost wolves are attacking all of the things that made nightmares disturbingly flashy. And that's all I have so far. It's not done, and I may have to re-rec some things. But I'll close out with some Key of G Blues Hawk. All right, hold on. Get some order. All right. My throat's a little dry. I didn't get that good of sleep last night. So thank y'all for hanging in there with me.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey,
Absolutely. Oh man, I love the new stuff. Kevin, Kevin always with the new stuff, but like really, yeah, that was really powerful, man. That the poem about the Breonna Taylor settlement, and yeah, and that new the new Pride poem, man. Great stuff, dude.
Oh, thanks. I still got to work it out. I've reworked that so many times, but that means it's worth like working with.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel. If I at least rewrite a poem once, there might have been something there to keep working on. So like definitely,
Right.
I think that one, man. Yeah, keep that one.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to see you, Kevin, as always. And
Of course, likewise.
Yeah, thanks for helping make this the best open mic in the land. And
For sure. I wouldn't want to do it for nobody else. like not for 10 years.
Right? I know.
But yeah, man.
You gotta at least not hate someone to stick with it, stick with it for that long. So, dude,
No doubt.
thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, back at
Yep, wouldn't want to be doing it with anyone else either, man. It's great to keep this thing going and keep the poetry vibe alive here,
for sure.
in Asheville and now around the world too. So,
Mm-hmm.
dude, hope you can make it back next week. And,
Yeah, for sure.
Either way, man, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for being here tonight, Kevin.
No doubt. Peace be with y'all.
Absolutely. Much peace. Cheers, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's Kevin Evans, and you're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville, coming at you live from Asheville, North Carolina. My name is Caleb Beissert. It's a pleasure to be your host tonight. Many thanks to Sovereign Kava, our sponsor, and many thanks to everyone for tuning in. We appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. We got a few more poets coming up for you tonight, and just incredible all-around performers. So stay tuned. We got Valerie in the house next. Yes, indeed. And then we got Phoebe and Kelly, and we still have a few more people who signed up, but I'm not seeing in the studio. So if you signed up tonight, we still have some time left, but make sure to follow that StreamYard link and enter the broadcast studio so we know you're ready to perform. I think there might be a spot or two left if anyone else wants to join in. Just go ahead and follow that link, and we'll get you on as soon as possible. But again, thanks for hanging with us tonight. I think we have a few more comments here for Kevin. Yeah, very good. Yes, indeed, it's been a fun night so far. By the way, we do sign up every week in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville group on Facebook. You can also sign up in person at the Kava bar. We have a sign-up sheet down there every week. Just drop by. Masks are required, but they are open for takeout Kava. Patio's open. Social distancing enforced, but y'all do support the Kava bar. We appreciate it. Yes, indeed. Good stuff tonight, y'all. And many thanks to our technical director, Morgan Beissert. Thank you, Morgan. That's the link there. Alright. Let's see if we can beam in Priestess Super Vixen. It's always good to see Priestess Super Vixen in the house. So y'all know what to do. Jump up and down and make a whole bunch of noise for Valerie. Valerie, hey.
Well, good day to you. How you doing, Caleb?
Good day. I am doing well. How are you doing tonight?
Inspired, listening to everyone else, and just watching out, listening to Kevin and the correlation to Kimberly. And one of the poems was it was like, whoa, look how similar.
Right.
You know, yeah, I love to see that tapestry of energy. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just humbled by it.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful to take part in this conversation of creativity, and it's amazing to see where it goes. You know, I don't know where it's gonna go each week, but it's certainly been an inspiring night. You said it.
Indeed. I'm going to do, I think they say I'm doing stanzas. I don't know what to call them, but I'm going to do 2 pieces. So
excellent. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Valerie. I'm excited to hear the stanzas, but thank you so much for being here tonight. Everyone give it up one more time for Priestess Super Vixen.
good day to you guys. Nice having this moment with you. And I hope that all is safe for each one of you with the storms, or hope you're not being caught in the rain without your consent to enjoy the rain beating upon your head. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tell my stuff, do my thing. And so here I am. I opened the door of my office to him. It's been 3 years since I've seen him. He walks in. I wonder if he recognized who I am. I can almost hear his thoughts. How in the world can a priestess, witchy chick end up with a job or an arrangement such as this? I welcome him, not trying to acknowledge that I do know who this person is. I don't even need him to sit down and lament about his issues. I already know that. Hell, I've known him for hundreds of years before this moment. But we did the formalities. And he sits down and then decides to lay. For everything that he remotely thinks of saying, I know the story behind each statement. You see, the truth that he has not revealed to me yet that I already know is that his mother was in love with his father. His father was quite a player. He was a good-looking man in his day. He had some kind of like pimp-like nature about him. He was one of those good old pretty boys that had a little bit of Cubano in him. He drove his mother crazy. His mother resented him as much as she loved him. She couldn't control her love for him. And he loved many women besides his wife. Secretively, that young man blames his mother for why father was unloyal to the family. In his eyes, he's felt that his mother was always complaining, always fussing, and always fighting. When you're a child, all you recognize is how your dad holds you and picks you up and lets you feel like you're worth $1 million. But yet mama was the one that made you want to eat your vegetables and make up your bed and clean your room. And she stood her ground as many times as she could against her husband and his infidelities. The same man raised this good-looking fella in my office today to, instead of pursuing women, wait for them to pursue you. And even though you may be disloyal, every woman you with should be loyal to you and no one else. Interesting concept. But for a woman like I don't follow the rules that his father taught him. And I also know that this beautiful man tended to find women that had less self-esteem, because then he can control his, to the best of his ability, control his emotions for that person, because he never truly loved them. He loved them, but he never loved them. He would never allow his heart to totally open up and be vulnerable. He mastered keeping that held back. And only glimpse of that vulnerability would be seen with angry outbursts of arguing with his woman. She knows not that this man is a 6 or 7-year-old man still hurting from the failed marriage of his mom and dad. I see it all, even with his most gregarious movements and high talk as he runs his businesses back in the day. I knew the truth about him and he hated me for it because I can see straight through him. As he lays there, he stops in the middle of it and says, I know who you are. I know who you are. All right, the other one is something that happened to me when I was a little kid in my mind. So I'm going to play it out in this way. Big Mama babysat me and a bunch of other kids in the neighborhood every day after school. We kick around in the city of Charleston, in old South Kakalaki. Her yard was as big and as long as you could imagine. That yard was so big it had 3 houses on it. She must have had like 10 rows of collard greens growing over there in the garden and some tomato plants. Every respectable elder Black woman did it in my day. As we rush home and sit back and watch some of the shoot 'em ups on TV, Big Mama finally made us all get out of the house. Go out in the yard and go play, she said. Then she said, matter of fact, take these bowls and bags. Now, I was still trying to figure out before she gave this new assignment of us going outside. I was just about to really question the whole thing about the shoot 'em ups. Why were the Indians riding horses and circling those wagons? What was their beef with the people in the wagons? And though I wanted to listen to Big Mama, I was still trying to figure out something. I couldn't put my finger on it. And in those shoot 'em ups, the women were always frail and demure, and the men were holding ground to protect their family and their women and their children, and they wanted just to keep traveling. I felt like I was missing something. I never understood the story part of why the Indians and the cowboys were at war. Big Mama said, come on, gal, get out. Here is your bag. Get outside like everybody else and go get them their blackberries because I'm going to make a blackberry pie. Oh, well, that changes things, of course. Why didn't she say that? I grab my bag and I catch up with the rest of the kids. And we all, as if we were Easter egg hunting, finding those good bushes that we know would have those berries. But something was very strange. As I watched all of us running around in the field and in and out of different yards, our skin was illuminated and shining from the sun. And I looked, at each one of us as the sun brought up the redness under our skin, and our dark skins shimmered in the sunlight. I always saw things and experienced things that nobody else did. And then something told me, we are the Indians. Valerie, we are the Indians. Thank you for listening to me. That is really all that I'm going to do tonight. And I'm sure there's many other people that are going to rock this doggone virtual open mic as usual. Thank you, Caleb.
And thank you, Priestess Super Vixen. Really appreciate that. I love those stanzas. I remember picking blackberries with my grandmother when I was little. So that takes me back. I love that. Nothing like fresh picked blackberries.
Hey, if you can manage to get them in the bag, you're too much trying to eat them on the job.
Right? I know.
Collecting.
I know. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Valerie. I'm really glad you could make it by tonight.
Thank you.
And I do want to plug your podcast real quick, Enchanting Asheville. Everybody check it out. It's Important Conversations.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you can make it back again soon, and I'll catch up with you soon. And hey, everybody give it up one more time for Priestess Super Vixen. Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you. Bye for now.
And you're tuned in to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. My name's Caleb Beissert, coming at you live from the living room here in Asheville, North Carolina. We got Phoebe up next. We got Kelly after that. And I think we have Emilio coming through. We were looking for Morgan and David. And there may have been a few other folks who signed up. Yes. Michael Crotch. Oh, come on, y'all. I'm sorry if that is a real person, but anyway, follow the StreamYard link. If you're gonna perform tonight, make sure you get in the group so we know you're ready to go. We really appreciate everyone, and many thanks for all the likes, comments, and shares. Indeed, we had some comments for the High Priestess there. Yes, indeed. Very good. Thanks, y'all. We appreciate the likes, comments, and shares. And many thanks to our sponsor, Sovereign Kava, for keeping this open mic going. We really appreciate that. And of course, many thanks again to our feature poet tonight, Kimberly J. Sims. You can buy the book at KimberlySims.com. She'll autograph it and sign it to you. For only $15, heck of a deal there. Check it out. And of course, we appreciate your support. You can sign up in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville group on Facebook. And at the Sovereign Kava Bar here in Asheville. Our theme music tonight is by the Lactones, and our technical director is Morgan Beissert. Many thanks to Morgan. Very good. I'm Caleb Beissert. It's always a pleasure to be with you. I love doing this. Very good. We got Phoebe Milo up next. And they're in the house with us tonight. So, let's get Phoebe set up here. But y'all know what to do out there. Make a whole bunch of noise. Give it up.
good? Cool. Hey, hello. Nice to be here with you all tonight. I just brought some words to share. Most of these don't have titles, but this one does. This one's called Kuzu and the Moon. We met the moon in a swampy sanctuary, heard it splash down to earth while admiring the reeds, and followed the ripples. The moon swam in muscular grace, played in all dimensions, favored us with colorless light, born of scales, transmitted through the moving mirror. Long ago, humans covered a creek with earth and concrete and said, "This will be profitable." They built money factories on top of the creek. But water has its own life and washed them away. The humans could not tolerate this. They packed their progress stronger this time and built cash that would last the years. But water has its own life and washed it away. The earth opened up and sucked down the profits, the pavement, and all the things people need urgently and immediately throw away. It all flowed into the sanctuary. And when we went back, the moon was gone. In the land of my birth, there grows a hated vine. People claim it consumes the world like a great snake because they can't keep it out of their yards, no matter how much poison they pour into the soil. It has taken over. But here is the truth. The vine covers areas where life has been scarred off to make way for highways, phone lines, deer stands, lawns. It's easy to hate what you have in plenty. It's more work to harvest it. Thicken your broth, feed your cow, drink the tea of freedom, collect purple honey, and weave your weird. Life brings life. The vine is not the invader. If you want to see for yourself, you can walk into the forest. Thanks. Here's one from earlier this summer. If you don't prop up the vines, new blossoms dip to the ground. Wind and the motion of the turning scrape them across lush earth, dislodging petals before pollinators can find the color. So with twine and wire, I wind my way through the bramble, reach roots and begin unbraiding. Tell clinging claws, "Don't worry, I'm trying to help you." 5 little leaves hold tight to thorns. 5 leaves on and on up the branchings. Delicate pieces of barricade that I lift and release, draw together so they can freely part. On and on. Sharp canines tasting my flesh incorporate me to the tangle. Green fingers play with my mane, talons pointing through for skull. I don't mind. Rose has given me so much. I show the thickest growth the way back to the sun, secure support of 100-year-old beams, new arms spread out to embrace the emptiness. Leaves can drink again. I'm part of the garden now, accepted as always by the rose bushes, loved by downward fangs lodged in calf, hair, ass. Rose has given me so much. Now another gift as I come loose. Sharp thorns snapped from stalk, absorbed down my barrier of skin, ready to spring through the surface. Cool. Thank you. I just got one more. This is a fresh one. And this goes out to my friend Betsy. I climbed just about out of Yoko Ono's vagina and glimpsed another world. The open world, where there is not dreaming because the dreams are already real. Drifting in beauty and peace, as though they always have been, because they always have been. Free for us to ride along on. The portal entered me through the holes of my eyes and took hold. Blue photons from sun clutched bright bat hands to cones and clung, slowly spreading the drift under my skin, above the bones of my cheeks and in, touching skeleton and muscle and spreading, but slowly, slowly. An instant change over years, and wholly that sky of clouds burst through, imperceptible most days, and drifting down my wings, finally to my kidneys, freedom. Arigatou gozaimashita. The portal of human cosmos visible in heaven. Thanks so much, y'all. Take care.
Oh! All right. Hey, y'all, give it up for Phoebe. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Phoebe. Very good. All right, we're having fun here tonight. Coming at you live from Asheville, NC. Thanks for joining us. Hey, we got some more open mic coming at you, so y'all stick around. And, yeah, we really appreciate all the likes, comments, and shares. Yes, many thanks to everyone who shared tonight. And our featured poet, Kimberly J. Sims Gibb. You can catch us here every Wednesday at 8:30. We really appreciate y'all. Yes, indeed. Comments. We love the comments. Thanks for commenting, y'all. We got some more poets coming at you, and we welcome all forms of artistic self-expression here on the Poetry Open Mic. Thanks for voting us best open mic venue, Sovereign Kava in Western North Carolina, again this year in Mountain Express. We really appreciate it. Yes, indeed. Cool. Yeah. We got Amelia coming up here in just a little bit. Oh, yes. If anyone else was performing tonight, make sure to follow that StreamYard link and get in the group. I think we have a space or two left. If anyone else wants to join in and share something tonight, We do this from 8:30 to midnight every Wednesday night. We appreciate the support. Alright. Very good. We got Kelly Hoyer with us tonight. Kelly Hoyer's another one of the open mic favorites. She's been coming to this thing, the in-person open mic, for a long time, and it's always a pleasure having Kelly in the house. We've done a bunch of poetry gigs together over the years, and yeah, she's awesome. Hell yes. Make some fucking noise. Kelly Hoyer, y'all, give it up. Hey, Kelly. Hey, your mic's mute. There you go.
There we go. Oh, so sorry.
Awesome.
I couldn't find my microphone earlier, so if you hear my cat running around, sorry, I tried. But
oh, that's all right. What's the cat's name?
Beavis.
Oh yeah, that's right, Beavis. Oh, I love Beavis. Everyone give it up for Beavis too. Yeah.
He's a good kitty.
Good kitty.
Yeah. No, I remember because I started coming, I would say probably 5 years ago, I think is when I did Eagle Street Days. Sometimes I'm like 6, but it really inspired me a lot and definitely is a part of who I am today. You know, helps me.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about, is just getting together and sharing that creativity and inspiring one another. So I'm glad you've been able to take part in us now. Yeah. Cheers
Me
to the
too.
old Eagle Street days, and cheers to moving forward here in the virtual realms, and then we'll see what happens after this, what we'll get back together in person eventually. But hey, thanks for being here tonight. You got some poems for us?
Yeah, I've got one. It's new. It's a little short.
Just one?
You know,
all right.
say more than what you have to say.
Hey, that's true. All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kelly. New shit. Y'all give it up for Kelly Hoyer.
All right. Well, thank you for your attention. So this is definitely not fully done, but it's good enough to shed its wings, if you know what I mean. No title yet. I no longer have a secret place, just this letter of lament and the pen I write it with that spews and spatters dreams I no longer believe in. So lying in bed each night like the hanged man seems fitting, as the noose tightens constricting. An unnerving uncertainty serves nothing but my mind to become busy, envisioning impossible conditions in which I suffer within. This heartache salivates, and all my fears are in the water waiting with me as I seek out to shuck oysters of prosperity. So far, I've got all this grit and no goddamn pearl. 1,000 moons ago, stars shined bright for my eyes, and a crumbling seraph beseeched me to not let them take my night sky, but I let them. Now my cup is empty. Defeated and jaded, my crusade of tender kindness grew weary. Astonishment used to come easy. Yeah, each day is a gift, but I keep hoping to find the receipt so that I may return it for something more fitting. This lack is my own doing. I let a few beatings destroy my faith in myself and the calling. I've got no solutions, just more demands and less resources. Somewhere there's a whisper. I think it spoke resilience. But I've always been good at proud exclamations without taking a step forward, putting it off for tomorrow, crying about what used to be instead of dreaming new possibilities. Thanks, y'all. Yeah. That's the new poem.
Hell yeah. New shit. I love it, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're inspired, and writing new stuff is always good to hear your work. And yeah, thank you so much for dropping by tonight, Kelly.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. It's really good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, please come back again next week.
You'll see me then.
Awesome. Y'all give it up again for Kelly. Y'all know what to do. Make some noise.
Bye.
And Beavis, too. Yes, indeed. Very good. Oh, man, it's been a good night. So many good poets here. I love seeing everyone. Shout out to everyone. If you're still tuning in down at the bar, but wherever you're tuning in, we appreciate it. Hey, we have a few more performers tonight. But I'm not seeing y'all. If you're performing, make sure to follow the StreamYard link, click into the broadcast studio, and get in there so we know you're ready to go. We appreciate that. And check us out. We're here every Wednesday night. Who else do we have? We're looking for Morgan and Emilio and David. Anyway, if you signed up, anyway, it's cool if you can't make it. I just wanted to give y'all a opportunity. So, last call for performers tonight. But no problem at all. I'm gonna read some poems for y'all. If y'all get in here in the next couple minutes, we'll get you on. But otherwise, thank you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate it. This poem's called Yellow Paper. The bristles of night raise stars, the shimmer that creates us and gives us nothing at all. Nothing to write other than snow that covers the midday in silence. As much as we hold on to others, we are really alone between the spaces and the atoms that make us. Lifetimes go by to find childlike truth. We are alone, except maybe we're the same. Nothing dies like tomorrow when shadows come crawling across the twilight landscape, drawing breaths of fire between waves. Perhaps some solace in that we can never finish before the mind is gone and mushrooms and grasses grow us into new life, and the children we never had climb trees and make necklaces of clover where the land diminishes into the sea. We didn't graduate and get jobs like our parents did, and the places we come to look strange and familiar, and the rocks blaze under a tyrant sun, and people are awakening and calling out from their beds, and our earth shakes and moans under the weight. Great flocks of birds are escaping over our heads, landing in that country field where lost balloons end up, like hopes we forgot or gave up. And in the end, our ambitions were a pastime, and our memories fade like yellow paper we write on. Yet what remains is the holding that fills the empty spaces. Thank you. Seems like the rain's starting up, and get a little bit of hurricane rolling into the mountains here in this late hour. Thanks for anyone still joining us tonight. I'm going to do a couple poems, and I think we do have Emilio. We're working on getting him connected right now. Again, if anyone else wants to perform tonight, go ahead and follow that link and get in here very soon. We're going to cut it off after that, but we do appreciate everyone. We're here 8:30 to midnight every Wednesday night, live on Facebook and YouTube, and live from us to you. Much love. This is the Salamander Lines. His stare was blank first, not quite here, not quite there, as he settled into the wallpaper. There are things about this house I don't quite trust. But it's the only safety we have for now, as we ponder the misshapen light bulbs and torn books on the floor. A delicate array of moths hover, broken windows whistle in the wind. The mailbox is stuffed with postcards to someone you don't know. Sweet greetings to no one become reminders of the brevity of love and misconnections we never knew. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. This one's called Invisible World. I wring out laundry in the rank world. Blackbirds fly in and out of an open window. For centuries, distress was my dwelling place. I look skyward and dream, head resting in an open window. Tall buildings and street poles block my view, so I throw all my possessions out of an open window. Kings and their lobbyists lie down in palace corridor. A falcon with a note appears at the open window. Rulers cannot be trusted. Nothing has changed. A bandit steals my soul and makes through an open window. Beside the oak bookshelf, there's a wine bottle filled with peacock feathers. The invisible world lies just beyond the open window. And this is a newer one to see again. Walls are made of poetry, and once you can read them, you'll see through the spaces between the words. Even full pages are mostly empty space, as the crystal vase is defined by its emptiness, which allows it to hold water and flowers, twisted sticks, or the unfilled air. Can a vase hold thoughts? Can it hold an idea like humility or grace? Can it hold emotion like surprise or love? Is a human body the same, made mostly of water, even in the empty space of lungs, of stomach, of open mouth that forms words, vibrating from that space, made full by it, as a drum or saxophone makes sound by way of absence? We are what we are not. We are the nothing that is everything. And this one's, where's Amelia? Cool. This one's called Stealing Beer from the Drunk. Friends pass into our memory of acres of fog pressed into our temples. Friends become better in fall. Where we began was the moment, and it wasn't meant to happen. Friends take leaps, fuck up. It wasn't staged like a one night only. All our practicing was real. Mountains of coal will bury us. Friends call through insane wind. Full moon pierces a purple sky. Your boy with the axe handle. Where have we let them lead us? The cries weren't for nothing. We needed a friend for a day. This one's called Epistle on the Way of Emptiness. In a day down for no reason, chemical loneliness, stark shadows of window panes across the wood floor. I'm friends with the houseplants. The desk is too hard, the chair too upright, the lamp a little too harsh. I write to Neely Tchaikovsky. I hear a child saying hello outside in the middle of the night. And a cyclone of car in the distance. Neely, I'm surrounded by books I can't understand. The museums are full of empty vases. Neely, I'm afraid of bats since the attic as a child. Neely, the wind chimes don't make any sound here. I can't find a single poet in the coffee shops. Tell me it was all dream. Johnson's Small Fruit Farm. The old man said Mr. Johnson passed away last night. He'd been sick for a while. Miss Johnson says she's done with the farm. I remember picking raspberries the size of strawberries, buckets full of blueberries, crisp apples that snapped when you bit into them. They didn't grow watermelons. No jackfruits hang in that mountain orchard. No cantaloupes. And this is a poem from the Spanish of Federico Garcia Lorca. It says Momento. When I die, bury me with my guitar beneath the sand. When I die, among the orange trees in mint. When I die, bury me, if you want to, in a weather vane. When I die. All right. We got one more performer for you tonight, and then we're gonna wrap this thing up. But I'm so glad our next performer could make it. We got Emilio in the house tonight, coming at us live from Humboldt Park in Chicago. We're happy to welcome our performers from all over the world now, and it's good to be able to have this way to get together with friends we haven't seen in person in a long time. But doesn't feel like it's been that long because of this this virtual open mic here. Wherever you are out there, let's see if we can beam in Emilio here, and you know what to do: jump up and down, like spin around a little bit, and then yell and clap your hands and make some noise for Emilio Maldonado.
What up, brother?
Emilio, what's up, man?
Hey,
Hey, how's it going?
pretty good. You got a little
Awesome.
blurry over there.
Is that better?
Yeah, you got to tell that camera to stop hitting that pipe, man.
Yeah, right, man. It's just all night over here. Just
Yeah.
won't put it down for a minute. Hey, cheers,
man.
man. What's
Hey,
going on
salute.
in Chicago?
This
Salute.
is terrible tasting powder mix iced tea.
Oh,
Ugh.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, I'm thirsty, man.
I feel you, man. Well, yeah, man. What you up to tonight?
Oh man, I am in I got a whole mix of feelings. So the big personal piece of news was that last night there was a shooting in my parents' neighborhood, but it was like actually in front of their fucking house.
Oh man.
So which is weird. I mean, they live in what's actually regarded as a pretty safe, quiet neighborhood, but there was two groups of guys that were shooting at each other, and as luck would have it, my car actually got a bullet hole in it, really close to the gas tank.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
And y'all, you and your family are y'all
Everybody's
are
okay.
Or yeah, man.
That's,
I'm glad to hear that. Damn, man.
yeah, really close to the fucking gas tank,
I
man.
know, man. They have all. It's like your card, and yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, fucking shit, man.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
And it's
I know how it is. My mom and my brother are, they're in Charlotte, and there's shootings in their neighborhood all the time. And I know, like, Chicago has got some of the most shootings in the U.S., which has a lot of shootings altogether.
right.
But like, man, it's pretty different when it's on your doorstep. It's hitting your car. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
you're
it's,
right there.
yeah,
God, man, I'm just glad
yeah.
y'all are all right.
Yeah, me too. Like, I'm here at my parents' house right now, and I was here last night, and I was just, it wasn't even like late night. It was fucking 10:30,
Damn.
and I was like watching fucking cable and having some fucking orange Jello, as like
And next thing you
innocuous
know,
and as like, yeah, man. I mean,
yeah.
I heard it. I'm like, hey, man, that shit's close. And I went up to the front. I'm in the back part of the apartment. And I went up to the front, and I could hear that it was happening in front. And I told my mom, turn the TV off, and I turned the lights off because I wanted to get a closer look at it. And it was, yeah, there's a lot more to it, to the story.
Yeah.
Nobody got killed, thankfully. But yeah, no, it was
Man,
what was interesting
people
was
just shooting off like that in people's neighborhoods, like
yeah.
God, man.
Well,
Jeez.
and in Chicago, it has this like, like we get a lot of like attention because of all this shit. So I mean, I'm aware of that. But what I think well, no, I know I mentioned this to you on the show, maybe a month or 2 months ago. But basically, it's like an open secret in Chicago that the police are kind of doing less because number one, they don't like the mayor because she's black and she's a woman and she's a lesbian. But also, even the mayor before that, who was also, and this isn't like a pro Lori Lightfoot thing at all, but she's going against like to the traditional sort of like boys club leadership in Chicago, which pisses off the cops because so much, it's it's like
kind
an
of
easy.
a retaliatory lack of service.
Oh yeah.
Kinda,
They're trying to underserve to basically get her to catch the flack, but that's not happening as of yet. But no one is like on the news talking about it. But it's sort of like if you pay attention, it's obvious that that's what's happening.
Right.
And but then the other piece that is actually even more like confirmation about how fucking racist and corrupt and completely fucking full of shit the rank and file is here, because they always talk about like, oh, it's the one bad apples. So the leader of the Fraternal Order Police, which is the police union here in Chicago, he has been a long time racist, always like anti-immigrant shit, anti-woman shit. He's been posting on his Facebook. He's had complaints about him against like for violence and shit, excessive force. And he came out and supported the president right from jump. But the union was supporting the president before him. So the union's always been pro-Trump, pro-MAGA. Right. The police union specifically here in Chicago. They came out and endorsed Trump publicly recently. So that'll just tell you. And the thing is like, and it wasn't like he wasn't doing this on the DL. Like it was open knowledge that this is what this guy was doing. They voted for him because of that. If that tells you everything you need to know about what the rank and file is like here and the system, that just that's it. But it in a non-personal thing, today is Mexican Independence Day, and last night it's celebrated at midnight traditionally, where like in Mexico, the president at midnight does this thing called el grito, which is like the shout, and it's sort of like it's called el grito de dolores, but it sound the shout of pain, but really it's named after that because the actual Declaration of Independence was said in the town of Dolores in the state of Guanajuato in Mexico. So it's sort of like got this unintentional but even cooler double meaning of like, this, it's not only a list of independence, a Declaration of Independence, but a list of grievances, But anyhow, the police, the mayor really closed down access to the downtown to keep people from being able to go cruising and, wave flags for like Mexican pride and shit. Because Mexicans, we always find a way. We still, found a way around the fucking bullshit ass wall that Lori tried to throw up. So there's still a lot of Mexicans downtown, but she actually closed off access. Like the police are supporting a developer right now in one of the biggest Mexican neighborhoods. Because it's literally like the big move to the first big move to displace Mexicans from this neighborhood. So there's just like and I mean, but that's just kind of it's like right now this year it feels like every fucking day there's something, and there is, but the reality is it's kind of like every day there was something anyway,
Right.
But now more of us know.
For a long time, and now it's just blowing up in your face. You can't not.
Yeah, more of us know about what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like before, who would have known? I mean, like we wouldn't even necessarily. You and I might have this private conversation where I'd say like, "Hey, man, this is what's happened in Chicago," but now anybody else is paying attention or will watch this. Yeah. Well, hey, what's Little Village? What's that neighborhood? Oh, it's that, or La Villita, and shit like that. But But anyway,
and
or
when
look
there's
up
stuff going down, I
Yeah.
get a lot of information from live streams and stuff like that going on. So
But I mean, with social media, like we've all been talking with each other and sharing information and shit,
And of course, you really got to filter what there's a lot of misinformation.
Oh yeah. But I mean, still, what I mean is like, like, hey, I found out so and so got shot by the cops, in Kenosha.
Yeah.
All these other years, like it only makes local news.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hey man, thanks for doing this thing. I wasn't gonna read because I today I've just been.
I know it's been rough, man.
Well, yeah, I felt really depleted, and it's like I was looking forward to this because I look forward to doing this like all week.
Yeah.
But then I was just so like zapped out, man, and I was like, man, forget it. And then I was like, no. If any day you want to just stay connected. It's like a today day, you know.
That's how I feel when I have a rough day,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I need to. I do feel better. Sometimes I don't want to come and do the open mic.
I bet. Shit, man.
Every time I have one of those days, I always feel better at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely should have come. You know. So.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the funny thing is yeah, and I because of like the pandemic and because of just, you know, I have a lot of friends that I don't get to see because they live in other parts of the world, you know. It's been harder to have like that, hey man, I need to just or like being able to talk to somebody about some of this shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Is it's been harder, and just typing it out and messaging someone all the shit that happened last night
Right.
was like finally I was able to start kind of feeling and like reacting to it, because that whole time from when the shooting happened to, you know, this afternoon until I messaged my friend, it was like, well, you know my friend, or
Yeah.
Susie, you met Susie.
Oh yeah, hey Susie.
Yeah.
We love Susie.
Yeah, man. She's in Italy right now.
Oh, way cool.
Yeah.
Man, well, tell her I said hi.
I
We had
definitely
such
will.
a great time
Yeah.
when y'all were here.
Yeah, man.
And man, like, yeah, I know it takes some time to process. I mean, your fucking your neighborhood, your pad and shit just got sprayed up, man.
Well,
Your car
the thing is, it's
fucked.
not honestly. I mean, the car pisses me off a bit, but what really fucking makes me mad is that it happened right in front of my. I mean, there was a fucking shell
That's your
casing
parents'
right in front of my fucking mom's house, man.
Right.
There's a shell casing right there. It's like the fuck,
like don't fuck around like that.
you know. And I was talking with the police, and you know, for all these people that just, it's like, you know, there's certain points where, you know, when we talk about it, it's like, okay, you can't hate on somebody for stuff that they don't know, right? You know, like there's all these people that legit are still looking to be educated, that can be educated, that can learn something. So that's cool. That's important, you know, and it's necessary, you know. So there's like, I was talking with my nephew about this, and he's you know, he's sharp, and just kind of like, there's a lot of people that believe that the police on TV is sort of like like maybe it's a little exaggerated, but it's sort of how it goes down. And the reality is that like that shooting, there was two different officers who told this to me, that because nobody got, like, there was no like serious bodily harm, right? Like nobody got shot or nobody died, that this isn't even a priority. So they collected the bullets and they just put them in a box, and that just gets chalked up as another shooting, you know. And they're not even like, it's not like, oh, you know, hey, put out an APB for a black SUV. Man, that shit's like fantasy. That shit's make believe. Yeah. You know, maybe that's how it goes down in like Barney Fife land, where there really are like legit 30 cars, so you can like find one, you know. But that ain't, you know, now. And the funny thing, and this is to put it out there even more, where my parents live is a predominantly white neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's like the shooters know that the police don't give a fuck.
Yeah, even over there, they're
which is why
we don't even give a fuck.
They're doing it with such impunity. You know, like after the shooting, this was new for me. But after the shooting, the cars didn't peel out. They drove down the block like nice and casually. Yeah. Anyway, man.
Wasn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway. No, man, it's you know, I'm after all of that, you know, I finally started to feel like some sadness about it. And I was like, and then after that, then the sadness hit. And I was just like, whoa. You know, it's like when you get hit with like some emotion, sometimes it could just fucking sap you. So
yeah, no, I feel you, man.
But I realized, like, yeah, maybe I'm tired, but I'm not tired. It's more emotional tired, and you know, that's why we're artists. We got to do what we do, you know.
That's right, man. And I know you can channel some of that energy into some poetry energy.
Yeah, I'll try, man. I'll
So,
try.
yeah, buddy. Well, hey, I'm gonna turn it over to you, Emilio.
Yeah. Sorry,
Glad you could make it, man.
that was a long, but yeah.
Nah, man, I appreciate like knowing
Yeah.
what's going on, you know, and it's that's a valid perspective, man, and it's important. People need to hear that shit.
Yeah, man.
And you know, stop the violence, man. And
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Emilio. I'm looking forward to hearing the poetry. I'm gonna turn it over to you.
All right, brother.
And yeah, we'll be back in a little bit, and I'll close
right.
it out. Thanks
Cool,
everyone for tuning in. Jump up and down, make some noise one more time for Emilio.
Coming at you live from my parents' kitchen. Big ups to Morgan. How you doing, brother? All right. So my car has a bullet hole. My car has a bullet hole. Killers roam free wearing some kind of blue or black, fooling themselves, never fooling us. It's Mexican Independence Day today, and the forces of white supremacy and capitalism, hand in hand, motherfuckers, keep rolling their insidious land grabbing infection. They want to take Little Village, La Villita. Despite the clear European and indigenous DNA I wear, well, maybe not clear indigenous unless you're Mexican. My soul hears Africa's song and rhythms as a child knows its mother, and I claim all of her as my mother. Hasta Gibraltar, and where the gypsy roamed, were chased or explored, is the song of drunks, birds, and beasts that howl before the dawn and into the opening of a day. We don't give up our lives as much as they are snatched from us. Even the warriors that walk every day in Flint, the Dakotas, Englewood, the Mission, El Barrio de las Empacadoras, the Comptons, Cholos y G's, East Brooklyn and El Barrio, the warriors that wear t-shirts and sit in Philly, stand up on 79 and in Ferguson, the apparent suicides and death by BB gun, none are offered up. They're stolen. Lands, cultures, thieves in khaki and body armor, songs and dreams, ladrones in 3 pieces and large green lawns. And there's a butcher's bill that's come due. I wrote this one in Nashville. Fever dreams. Spoke to a mountain. Been about a year since someone talked dirty to me. Devastation is being asked, are you okay for the first time all year? Maybe longer. Forgetting how it feels when somebody outside of a blood relative cares. Got my hair cut at Mr. Smooth's. Slim was handling book, Big Dre took care of the 2 white boys. Clean, lined up proper. Rock hopped the riverbed that morning. Mr. Smooth called me baby. Listen to Shit Shooting 101. Tried not to fall asleep. California love had me keeping my ears Serengeti style, wondering if he would smell the out of town on me. I trusted Mr. Smooth, so I closed my eyes and got a proper shave. Drifted a little bit. What I wanted. You with me in Asheville. You here. What I needed. To go by myself. Drink a lot. Miss you. I saw a shimmering ocean, the sunlight kissing and reflecting into my eyes. La venganza de Dios. Jeez, I see pretty girls with sweatpants and I think of you. Roosters. So it's 6:10 a.m. We in a cab in the largest city of the world. Walking out of the bus terminal, I heard a fucking rooster crowing. It keeps on feeling incredible being here. Palm trees in Aguascalientes line many roads. In most of the Mexico City that I travel in, it's old. But not like cool old. More like Rust Belt old. Spent. Beat up. Never mind that shit. I wake up on the 49 bus. Desperation en los ojos de mi madre, imágenes en una eternidad no puede borrar. She asks for the police station Sunday morning. America doesn't believe in this or the village. It has potbelly sandwiches and open on Sunday. Los ojos de mi madre, none y'all. I wish this on none y'all, even my enemy, porque madre worried enough. The hip child no sabe lo que pasa, solo que tiene hambre, he said. Sus manitos agarran a su mamá. Le ofrecimos ayuda. She turned us down. Wouldn't trust another man. Not today. A mountain weeps alone. Naima's unoriginal pain needs to eat. Carries a cardboard sign, will bleed for you, wishes you well, and other nouveau banalities. Vacío. Hay que sufrir primero, right? Vacío. All action is forward. Conversar, hablar is static. Tiresome. A weary go-round. A rehash of past excuses, old rehashes, y manos y verbos tensos, y almas perdidas. Used up drunk half fists sat next to me. USA born. She's a she. Fingers and dick thicker than mine. Puerto Rican oldie walks in, ya tú sabes, singing and swearing almost as loud as Naima. Old Slim Whitey walks in with roses for the soft. Are you kidding me? Latinda bartendris. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Gypsy Kings, and some worn-ass down Metallica mixed in between the Moroccan jams. Seasoned with mixed D's and peanut-filled pretzels. Immigrants live in a secret, inexpensive 5 will get you 20. Last story is getting ripped from the place what used to be in Chicago. Yeah, cops be pigs, and round eyes be prison loving everybody over here in 606. Pero ciudad, yeah, the city, baby. Dog shit and nails, Windex and smiles. Hide proudly and loudly on blocks, paper lantern lit by Yelp blogger Dreamsicles. Secret city, living city, schnapps and smokers cough city, Schlevo city, Raque city, Reposado city, Uzo city, palm wine dates, lizard brandy, no speaky submission city. All right, I got a couple, like, very, well, for today. Raíces. Where I'm from? Nowheres. Not mine. Need papers to claim dirt that has blood like mine in it. Where I'm from? Alacranes, ladrones y chamucos me esperan para el otro lado. Temo que nunca voy a regresar. Por el gusto, hombre. Where I'm from? Tears of frustration, not my language. Stupid words that have no meanings. My words. My words. Scream out las lágrimas. Of home, we sing and drink, and then we sing. Together, out of step, at once, and with pain and joy and pride and shame, and stagger and dance with her till she falls in love and hates you in the same song. It's getting late. It just started. Someone has a guitar. Where I'm from, aquí way, and I won't let no white man tread on me. Stick a gun in my hand, we'll see where I'm from. Lindo y querido. Today I weep for what I never had. Mi herencia rota. Make my own love. Bend the river, ride a right horse. Start a fight with a song. Where I'm from, dogs howl and fight. Blind fuss, blind drunk, blind faith. A bell tower curses out the day's blessings. Pero ni de aquí ni de allá. Make my own family. Limón y sal y las golondrinas. Lagartija goes its own way. What do I remember? Star-Spangled Dreams, Popeye, a Lone Ranger, ass whippings, snow, years of concrete and oil, love, love, love. I remember love most. I didn't pawn that yet. What do I remember? Piñatas, tequila shots in the left front pocket of Sunday pants. Mis tíos Marcos, Lalo y Toño. Mi abuelito Salvador. ¡Chavita! Mi papá Adrián. El coyote. El mentiroso. El mariachi. Me recuerdo de cariño. ¿Cómo decir las gracias? My great grandmother's hands. Más que nada son las manos de mi abuelita que significan where I'm from. Sin papeles, con papeles, whether sober, tired, lost, or beautiful. Con dinero, sin dinero. Son el sello de donde soy. Her hands carry los sacrificios that all children should know about, because strife makes honey sweeter. Pero nosotros, sabemos que miel es más dulce que honey. And yeah, sometimes I cry in July, but I feel cósmico, coyote, y como un gavilán in September. Mujer de la piel morena, dame un trago de café. Aquí te traigo mi crema. Pa' que tomes tú también. This is a Chicago poem. Woke up scared onto the bright bedroom, feeling flash and loud bang of shotguns in the alley of 1856 South Troop. It was scary and alive, and my girl was safe at her place. I kept my head low during the return fire. I looked past, blinked, and forced myself to ignore el chamuco that sits in my room at the foot of my bed. It was a hard choice, disbelieving in magic to deal with reality. Terrifying, but familiar as Sunday afternoon tortas. After this, I felt around to make sure my girl wasn't here. I called downstairs to Anna and Tony to make sure that they were okay. Then I tricked and called the police, making sure to keep my voice low, even though I was on the 3rd floor. Elsewhere, morning glories cling to fences, indifferent to the carnage, readying itself from the rage to lay ahead of it. Wild sin caricia, unmerciful nature. When it suits me, the wind is welcome, but she also destroys hopes and dreams. I find it pleasant now, shaking, sweat glistening from my fingers as I whisper and wait for the wind to blow the gunfire away. That's it.
Emilio. Wow. Dude, digging the new stuff. That was really cool. Thank you, Emilio.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that.
That was just
reading.
Yeah.
You feel something? Feel something from that? I do, man. Appreciate you coming by, dude.
Thank you, brother. I found out something interesting about that. I think it was that last poem I just read. What was it? Yeah, the yesterday. So this is the crazy thing about yesterday. It started out so fucking beautifully. Like I went to get breakfast with my old man at IHOP. I fucking hate IHOP, but he's like, I haven't been to IHOP in a long time. I want to go. It's like, all right, man, let's go. And you know, they had everything set apart, social distancing and everything, so it was cool. You know, we had our breakfast, and you know, then I wanted to get. I was going to take his car to get washed, and he's like, I don't really feel like going. I just want to go back and watch TV. I'm like, all right, man, go. And I took the car, and I took the car. I mean, there's car washes everywhere in any place of the world, you know. But I went really far because there's a cigar shop close to the car wash, and I have this little lighter that I found, and it turns out to be a butane lighter, but the writing in the back of it is in Spanish. So it's like, this is, I don't know how I have this. I was just doing some house cleaning and I found it. And at the cigar shop, they told me that they'll refill them for free, and it fucking works.
Yeah.
You know, which was like fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool.
Good day so far, right?
And then I drive down to this. There was this like art project in Pilsen, which is close to where I was at, and what they were doing it's called the Alley Project. You could look it up on Instagram. It's called the Alley Project, and it's these group of artists that just came together, and they talked to all these homeowners. Hey, do you mind if we beautify this alley? And the guy who spearheaded it grew up. He's like third or fourth generation in that building. His like grandfather bought the building like back in '57, is what he's telling me. And it's this beautiful like beautification of an alley. Now, normally that would be cool, but that's the alley that's connected to the alley that the shooting happened that I wrote about 20-something years ago. And this kid told me that the alley is referred to as Death Alley. It's known as Death Alley because of how many kids had gotten shot and killed in that alley. And one police officer got killed. And I remember that because that was when I was living down there. I'm like, oh, shit. So I was just like, oh, fuck. Like, this alley has a nickname, this fucking place that I wrote about.
Be good.
You know? And I just found this out, 25 fucking years later. But the takeaway was more like seeing this beautiful, like, public art. And the kid did it. He's like, I want this place to be known for something else than murder. And I want to transform it. And, it is beautiful. It's so colorful. Even the fucking ground is painted. You know what I mean? The garbage cans, the dumpsters, everything is just, it's really, really fly, man.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's weird. Like, and then, it ended with the shooting, but like it's a weird little fucking boomerang that happened there. But still, it was like, oh shit, I wrote about this fucking alley, back in fucking whatever, 97, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wild. Anyway.
Crazy shit, man. Well,
Death
that's
Alley.
A beautiful story there. Glad there's some good endings, and I just I hope things get better, man, and I pray y'all stay safe and
Thank you. Same.
all that stuff, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you, man. But yeah, hit me up. We're here for you, buddy. And please
Big love to everybody.
And sharing the poetry.
Big appreciation to all the performers. Everybody
Absolutely.
killed it tonight. Valerie, again, just
right. She's amazing. Yeah.
I actually got caught in a fireball yesterday. A little bit less hair here. It was a weird day yesterday, brother. All right.
Sounds like it, man.
But yeah. Peace and love.
Absolutely. Peace and love, man. Take care. Y'all give it up one more time for Emilio.
Hugs to everybody.
That's Emilio flying in live from Humboldt Park in Chicago. Thank you, Emilio. It's always a pleasure. And, yeah, man, we wish you well. Yeah, tough times in Chicago, man, but, stay safe and shit. I don't even know what to say. What can he say? At least we got this, and it's been a great night here. It's been an honor to host for y'all tonight. Many thanks to all of our performers. Thanks to Morgan Beissert, our technical director. And thanks to our featured poet tonight, Kimberly J. Sims. You can buy the book on the website. Good stuff. Yes, indeed. Thanks to the Lactones for the theme music. We're grooving. Alright. I got a few poems to leave us with. I think there's a few comments here for Amelia. Thanks again to Amelia. Thanks to all our performers tonight. You can sign up in the Poetry Open Mic Asheville group on Facebook. We'll be back here next week with another great show for you. Alright. I'm gonna do this poem by Robert Bly. This is Eating Blackberry Jam. When I hear that God is the same as existence, I fall silent. But I keep turning my eyes up to the little creatures of non-existence. Some believe that the sea perch became identical to the shark from zeroing in, but staying alive doesn't mean they are free from non-existence. The cries of the infant barn swallows rising from the mud nest fastened ingeniously to the rafters taught me to love the skinny birds of non-existence. Taoists, with their thin beards, fishing all day with a straight hook, tell us they have learned not to expect a whole lot from non-existence. Blackberries have so many faces that their jam is a kind of thickening of nothing. Each of us loves to eat the thick syrup of non-existence. When each stanza closes with the same word, I am glad. A friend says, if you're proud of that, you must be one of the secretaries of non-existence. Guzzle there by Robert Bly. I'll share a few originals. This one's called I Downed Several Beers at a Chili's across the street, and this is why I had to leave. Minneapolis is full of ghosts. I stayed in a hotel near the airport and the Mall of America, where the rooms were all named after the tribes that were cleared for the hotels to be built. A totem pole stands in a courtyard where we huddle and smoke on a gray, rainy night. The tribes around here didn't have totem poles, says Gretchen when she picks me up the next day. I can't believe there's still a hotel out here like that. I said I was surprised too. There are ghosts that roam the plains, where there used to be herds, great wilderness, people who lived in towns of earth. Down all the highways there are aging hotels. Places have memories. Along the strange carpeted hallways and the noiseless curtains, traces of those who have come and gone. The hotels with their stale white sheets cover where there once was. The last of the porch times. I move on to other porches, knowing this one was good to us. Of all the times, porch time was about relaxing and unwinding in solitude after a stretched day of work, or together, sharing the sound of our thoughts or arroyos of laughter. There was one time my roommate sat on the chair wasps had built a nest under. Their sudden swarm stung her dozens of times before she realized what it was. But the porch was good to us, though it never noticed us. Its weathered planks buckle in waves that creak underfoot. Railings leave crenellations on faces. We swayed in the porch swing, drawing closer to each other on cold nights when the mountain wind crawled the icy street and the trees groaned heavy. That's where I saw the wildcat that came to inhabit my dreams. I think she was trying to tell me something, but my language fails to reach across. I'll have to discover new language. I'll have to listen to the animals who have been speaking since before words. I'll have to listen from inside. How to translate a tongue I didn't realize is there, with no stone to guide. We've been hearing the language all along. We can understand what is beyond meaning. I think I know what the cat was saying. And I'll leave you with some Beissert and some Rumi. Thanks for tuning in tonight. This is by Richard Jarrett. Beissert the donkey lives out his days in a small pasture. He appears stoic in the rain and stands still beneath the merciless sun. You could almost believe that a rock to eat, dust to drink, are all that he needs. You would be more wrong than the one who named him Beissert, thinking that the kiss he gave for a sliver of apple was love. Nameless Beissert. Names pour over the ridge, tide over spilling moon. Night alone breathes in the pasture, its many eyes open. One night a man was crying in the street. Allah, 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 Allah. His lips grew sweet with the praising, until a cynic said, I have heard you calling out, but have you ever gotten any response? The man had no answer to this. He quit praising and fell into a confused sleep. In his dreams, he saw Hitter, the guide of souls, in a thick green foliage. Why did you stop praising? Because I never heard anything back. This longing you express is the return message. The grief that you cry out from draws you toward union. Your pure sadness that wants help is the secret cup. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. Listen to the moan of a dog for its master. That whining is the connection. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. There are love dogs no one will ever know the names of. There are love dogs no one knows the names of. Give your life to be one of them. Thanks for coming to Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. It's been a beautiful night. Thank you to everyone who performed tonight. Thank you to our featured poet, Kimberly J. Sims. Check out her website and buy the book. Thanks for supporting Poetry Open Mic Asheville. Thanks for supporting Sovereign Kava. And thanks for making us best open mic night venue in Western North Carolina again this year. We really appreciate it. Thanks, y'all. My name's Caleb Beissert. We'll catch you again next week. Y'all stay safe and keep standing up and doing what's right. We appreciate y'all. And we'll catch you next time. Peace. Alex Milner on the keyboards, Jason Moore on saxophone, Aaron Price on bass, Chris Cooper on guitar. I'm Caleb Beissert. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. It means a lot. Y'all take care of your barkeeps. Get home safe. Hopefully we'll see you again sometime. Cheers.